OBS is probably.
Uh-huh.
Stop it, Discord. Mm-mm.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Thank you.
Master of the lightsaber blade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Ooh.
I wanted to say that, but I unfortunately forgot, and I feel really
Well,
bad about that.
Hopefully, hopefully, at the beginning of next month, we'll continue to start training once again.
Cool.
And
Will you all be wearing like badass Darth Vader and Kylo Ren masks from here on out?
Yeah.
As long as it's a mask, as long as it's a face mask of some kind, we're allowed to continue within bubbles.
Sweet. Or what's the name of that one dude from the Old Republic who kind of looks like a proto Vader?
Ah, Raven.
Yes,
Revan,
there you go.
Revan.
Hopefully, Raven will be coming in a bit later.
Mhm.
Ooh. Mhm. Also,
Huh.
Mhm. Well,
True. Though you
I'm
are a
just
braver
using-
man than me.
I just use it to keep up
Sorry.
to date with oh. What were you gonna say, Liz?
Oh no, sorry. It's because my phone, my internet's acting up funny. It's like
Ah.
it kept disconnecting from
Yeah.
the call.
Same thing happened to me earlier. I couldn't get in for whatever reason.
Eh.
Well, I
Anyway,
usually
continue. Sorry.
mostly use Twitter to keep an eye on what's happening with Daikaiju Daikason.
Oh yes, Gorian's game that both your character and my character are a part of.
And Atomic Rex. And apparently,
Yes.
Kaiju Live has now got their character coming into the next update.
Yeah. What is Kaiju Life, by the way?
I think it's a live stream of some sort. It's like a podcast thing.
Right. I remember Matt Frank designed like the mascot for that podcast, and which is sort of like a neon greenish take on Godzilla. It's Godzilla, but it's not. And Gorian did a pretty excellent job translating that character to his style. And for those who don't know, Gorian is my buddy from Thailand. He created the Nagorayar kaiju comic that I was the editor on, and he has been working on this game for some time. And he's got a lot of people's characters involved as one big giant cross collaboration. And so right now it's currently available on itch.io or itch.io, however people pronounce it. And he's going to make the move from itch.io to Steam, where the game will be sold for free under Steam Greenlight. with all the characters. Future character DLCs will be free. Some extra game modes will be paid DLC, but for the majority of it, it's going to be a free experience.
Nice.
Yeah. And that one the masked Sith Lord I was thinking of was Darth Malgus.
Oh,
yes, okay.
Malgus.
Yeah,
From
that's
the
a
Old
guy who.
Republic game.
Yes. That's a guy who knows how to social distance and keep himself from breathing any of that bad air.
According to the audience, apparently OBS's mic settings were being a pain in the ass again. So, to the audience, I'm speaking now. Can you hear me? Dan, this is your cue to type.
See, the weird thing is, I'm trying to look for your live stream on YouTube. Okay, now I see it. For whatever reason, it's not showing up in my subscription feed. But if I go to your YouTube page, then I can see episode 125.
He can hear you.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, folks, technical difficulties, but sometimes our settings are just being irritating for the sake of being irritating. That's a story unto itself for another time. But despite those hiccups, we're going to bring you a show, as we often do, each and every week. One that I'm going to get on to that doesn't really require any particular article to be brought up. And Nick Nugent, if you're in the audience, you know exactly what I'm going to be talking about in a moment with regards to this. Yesterday, Knight Rider turned 38. It makes me wonder where all the years have gone with this show, because I can remember getting into this about 15 years ago, and from my perspective, and the perspective of loads of other Knight Rider fans at the very least, we think it's the best show ever, and I appreciate that subjective, but, it's one of those, probably like one of the very few ultimate forms of escapism that we don't really see that much of today. It made the Trans Am probably one of the most desired TV and movie cars ever. And, Hasselhoff made his name from this show. He credits Baywatch as the show that made him rich, but Knight Rider is what got him on the map. It's just so weird, nearly 40 years later, people still talk about this show with fond regard. And apparently Discord's being weird again.
No.
Really?
Poop.
Ah, there we go. So I plugged my headset fully in, and for whatever reason I can only hear you if the headset is only partially in.
Oh, that's very weird. I've had that happen to me before. Usually that's when my headphones start screwing up and I gotta get a new pair.
I'm just going to check OBS's settings real quick just to make sure I haven't been kicked out. No, the microphone is still enabled, so we'll just simply stick with this because for whatever reason this is working. Like I say, it was one of those shows where it was just high octane fueled fun each and every week. Yeah, throughout the majority of Season 3 and Season 4 is something I like to forget, especially Voodoo Night. Oh, God.
Ah!
Yeah, we don't talk about Voodoo Night. In the same vein that, Terminator fans don't like to talk about Salvation, Dark Fate, and in the same reason that a lot of Godzilla fans don't like to talk about 1998. And someone... The Raiden has been summoned. Zen Master, what is your quest tonight?
Any bullshit going on?
No.
At the moment, we're
Not
only,
yet.
at the
Not
moment,
yet.
at the moment, we're just discussing the fact that yesterday, Knight Rider turned 38.
Damn.
There's a lot of things, if they were to redo that show today, there'd have to be one of two things changed, because particularly the way they'd have the women dress in some of the earlier seasons, it wouldn't fly too well today, because Pamela Susan Shoop, who was in the pilot episode as a barmaid, she was basically walking around in a leopard skin bikini. No, that's like, can't do that today. But then again, it's on a similar subject, because we were talking about the sitcom 2.5 Men before we came into the live stream. And there's this one line. Now, this is by 2003 standards, but Charlie Sheen would not be able to say this line today.
Yep, that is very early 2000s.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You can't say that today.
Oh, God,
Nope.
no. He'd be canceled so quick. Oh, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
The thing is, would he care?
Probably. Well, he'd probably be
Probably not, no.
He'd probably be cancelled quicker than his own live stand-up comedy show.
Oh,
Ooh.
He
geez.
had a live stand-up comedy show?
You got a comedy show?
What?
Hell?
That's about as shocking as O.J. Simpson's prank show.
Ah!
What?
Yeah, apparently.
I even ask.
Aha! I killed you. You got pranked.
It's essentially, it was a show called Juiced, in which it was a complete and total knockoff of Punk'd.
Oh.
Right.
And if anyone is a subscriber to the YouTuber Quentin Reviews, he reviewed that series.
Oh, God, I need to look that up later.
I got nothing.
That's more of a revelation than Lydia showing me that Justice League live action.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that shit had me like questioning life.
Yeah.
Now I would like to know which would you prefer, the Justice League movie we actually got, or the Justice League series we almost got?
I'll take the
That's
Justice
not-
League movie despite how shit that was.
Is that third choice?
No, in this hypothetical situation.
Okay, then. There's no third choice. I don't choose. I abstain.
Fair enough.
Oh, here we go. Here's the Wikipedia info for Juiced. In 2006, Simpson starred in his own improv hidden camera prank TV show, Juiced. Typical of the genre, Simpson would play a prank on everyday people while secretly filming them, and at the end of each prank, he would shout, "You've been juiced!" Less typical, each episode opened with topless strippers dancing around Simpson, who is dressed as a pimp. He sings his own rap song, which includes the lyrics, "Don't you know there's no stopping the juice? When I'm on the floor, I'm like a lion on the loose. Better shoot me with a tranquilizer dart. Don't be stupid, I'm not a Simpson named Bart." In one episode, Simpson is at a used car lot in Las Vegas where he attempts to sell his white Bronco. A bullet hole in the front of the SUV is circled with his autograph, and he pitches it to a prospective buyer by saying that if they ever get into some trouble and have to get away, it has escapability. Wow, this guy has like no integrity at all.
Really?
What network was that on?
Oh, here's the thing. It was probably made to be on. Oh, I'm getting here. Okay, here's the part at the very end. I'll get to that. In another sketch called Bingoj, Simpson pretended to be having an affair with another man's girlfriend. Later, he transforms into an old man whose dying wish is to call a game of bingo. Juiced aired as a one-time special on pay-per-view television and was later released on DVD.
Pay-per-view?
Yes. Yeah, so apparently they could not, shockingly, they could not get an actual network to buy this series, so that's how it ended up on
why.
TV.
Yeah, that would just be bad PR right there.
For some reason, I'm being reminded of Noel's House Party, only more pimpier.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Oh my god.
I like how we went from Knight Rider to O.J. Simpson's prank show. That's an interesting transition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Just noticing those gifs now. And this is the video who talked about this series. If you want to check it out later.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out later.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh dear. Still can't believe he could have ended up being the Terminator.
Oh,
Really?
How did nobody buy him being a killer?
Yeah.
Hey. If we're oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The story.
No, continue.
The story
Sorry.
is, Orion Pictures said to James Cameron, "Oh, we want this guy to be the Terminator," and Cameron's response was, and I quote, "I can't envision him being a killer."
If you do think about it, this was like the late '80s. So at that point, it's like O.J. Simpson was like the most likable man in the in America, perhaps.
You're probably thinking like, dude, you want me to cast the guy from not Police Academy, from Naked Gun?
Yeah, I was about to mention Naked
Why?
Gun. It's like he was in the Naked Gun movies, and he was a pretty prestigious football player, and then he threw that down the
Crap.
tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized another gem from the past. Do any of you remember Steven Seagal Lawman?
Yes.
Where Steven?
No.
It was on Spike TV, wasn't it?
Yes. This one actually did get a network and multiple seasons.
Oh my
3 of
God,
them.
I remember that.
It doesn't surprise me.
That.
Spike TV was kind of known for being a super machismo-filled channel.
Right, Spike
God.
TV. What was it called? The Network for Men.
The only
Yeah.
thing I could really watch on it and tolerate it was Deadliest Warrior.
Oh yeah, that's where it got its start.
Didn't they
wait,
have
here-
Stripperella on Spike TV?
Yes.
Oh fuck, you're right.
Yes, they
That
did.
and
Yeah, for a short time.
then what was the other one called? Like Gary the Rat or something like that.
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
And
But
of
yeah,
course
like-
the infamous Ren and Stimpy APC adult party.
Ah, yes.
Mm.
The show that lasted like 3 or 4 episodes before it was canceled.
Yeah.
And then they fell into the same trap most cable shows do and whore out the same show for countless hours.
Let's just say John
Right.
Kay was a fucked up individual.
Oh,
Like, don't get me
In
wrong.
more ways
I love,
than one.
Don't get me wrong. I love me some
Yeah.
CSI, but playing it all day, every day, and then one of their original shows all day, every day, shortly after that, a person could burn out on something, even if it's a good show. You need variety. This is why TV is dying.
Technically, Spike TV had a little variety, especially because I used to watch a lot of growing up. I mean, of course, it has before it got moved to the USA Network. WWE Raw was there, and after that, TNA Impact. And for mixed martial arts fans, you also had the Ultimate Fighter.
damn.
And
I
then
just remember.
there was a show
yeah.
that they would air called 1,000 Ways to Die, which would just show.
Oh my
I
God.
remember that. It was narrated by Ron Perlman.
Yes!
Dan's being
The
Dan's
first
being-
season was.
Dan's being an absolute savage here. Goes, here's O.J. Simpson was one of the most likable guys in the 80s. So was Bill Cosby, and we all know how that went.
Ooh.
Oh,
Please, no.
Oh.
Please. Please.
ouch.
Not wrong.
Think there's something in my pudding.
No, it's just another word for Jello.
Please don't.
Charlie Sheen's
God
Char-
damn it, lunches.
Charlie Sheen's live Charlie Sheen's live comedy show was called My Violent Torpedo of Truth. Defeat is not an option.
What?
Well, that's truer words told.
It was-
Also, yeah, I just wanted to read Dan Williams' comment. OJ plants false murder evidence on some poor guy. You've been juiced!
You just see him running off. You just see him running off, going, "If the glove don't fit, you must quit."
Imagine that's what he says the moment he gets the he's what do you call it? The jury calls him innocent, and he just goes to everyone in the court. You've all been juiced.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And in this case, the one thing that actually did get him incarcerated for a while was tax evasion.
Wah, wah.
Just like Al Capone.
And at that point, he said, "I need some money," and that's how Juiced came about.
Uh,
Oh dear.
and we've gone right off the rails.
Yep.
Yep.
We have we'll get back to topic briefly, and then we'll move on to something else, because this is the
Know
opening.
the topic?
Yeah, the opening topic was the fact that Knight Riders turned
Sorry.
38. It's alright, dude, it's alright. I'll keep my comments short and sweet, because, like I say, I don't want to dwell on one subject for too long. For me, greatest show ever made. Hasselhoff was really at the top of his game in the 80s. The Trans Am was quite possibly the best TV car of the 80s. William Daniels, he's always going to be the voice of KITT. Val Kilmer comes a very close second. And it was just good, wholesome fun that could entertain anyone and everyone, because it would teach the right lessons, but without it feeling like it was being shoved down your throat. Not like in the same context of that of Captain Planet. Whilst that's an entertaining show, it did feel a bit preachy, whereas Knight Rider's mentality was, here is the advice, we'll leave it on the table, what you do with that is up to you. And I keep saying this idly, if I ever get that prestigious lottery win, first thing I'll be doing, aside from quitting my job, is going onto a dealership, and I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to make this real simple. 2 black Trans Ams, both done up as KITT, one sent to me over in the UK, and send one over to Wynn's house.
Ooh.
Aww.
And
I've
Kaiju
done it.
and Kaiju will get a Dodge Charger in Godzilla green and red.
Nice.
Wait.
And Oni will get himself a pickup truck, but only Lids will allow him to drive it.
Damn right.
Yeah. When I know we've kind of covered Knight Rider's anniversary before, but in this day and age, with all that's progressed with regards to writing, or in some cases, as far as writing is concerned, regressed, with the type of actors that have come and gone, with special and visual effects advancing, does Knight Rider still hold up as a show today?
Hell yeah, it's been a while since I watched it, but when I did recatch it, it's aged pretty well for an 80s show. The writing's still clever. It's always charming to hear Mr. Feeney behind the voice of Kit. Because that same actor played Mr. Feeney in Boy Meets World.
He also played Death Scythe 2.0. He also played Death Scythe 2.0 in The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Love this.
But yeah, it was always charming to hear Kit's dialogue with Michael, and the action was still entertaining without being too over the top.
All right. Lids, same question.
I mean, it's like I like Knight Rider, but I didn't watch it before, and then my weird history is that like I used to watch Boy Meets World, and then I would watch the clip of Knight Rider, and I heard, why is Mr. Feeney's voice coming out of that car? That blew my mind, realizing that actor and the car are the same guy. It's just weird. It just again, after that, I kind of liked it. It's just again, I don't actively watch Knight Rider on a regular basis, but it was fine. I didn't have any problems with it. I'm not like a big Looper fan, no offense.
Interesting thing about William Daniels, he not only played Dr. Benethon in one of the season 1 episodes of The Incredible Hulk back in the day, but he also played Dustin Hoffman's father in The Graduate.
Yeah, that's true.
An interesting thing, there's only a 10-year age gap between Dustin and William.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Stephen, obviously you weren't here in the live streams when we first started 3 years ago. What do you remember of Knight Rider from when you first saw it? Does the performances and the show as a whole still hold up today?
Can't say that I saw them show much growing up. From what I have seen, I still think it holds up.
Nice.
Although one question I have for you: who was the better voice for Carr? Was it just Peter Cullen who voiced him, or were there other voices as well?
There is an answer to that. Peter Cullen voiced Carr in the season 1 episode Trust Doesn't Rust, which Toby1 can vouch for me on this because he's in the chat. But in the season 3 episode Kit vs. Carr, it was Paul Frees. Because Cullen was, super tied over with Transformers, because Cullen voiced Carr in 1982 and wouldn't reprise the role again until about 2009 when it was Kit versus Autobot Carr, or as Nick prefers to call him, as a GoBot, because a Transformer can actually take a hit. His words, not mine.
That name sounds familiar. Did he play Ivan Ooze by any chance?
No, that's Paul Freeman.
It's okay. Last night, and Shoma was making the same mistake multiple times as well. Remember when?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was making a reference to that.
Paul
And
Freeman.
kept poking fun of himself for it.
Apparently,
Speaking of that, oh, sorry, I just want to add something.
I was gonna say, Paul.
Oh,
go on, man. Go on.
Sorry for interrupting. So, Kaiju, you ever did a riff of Turbo Power Rangers movie?
No, we haven't, but that is a very good idea.
Mind if I join you?
Sure. We'll see what Nshoma says about that.
Cool. That's all I want to know. All right, go ahead, MJ.
Paul Frees was actually a voiceover that would actually be heard at the Disneyland resort back in the day, and he had a much more metallic sounding voice for Carr, whereas Cullen's portrayal would be somewhat naive, because whilst Carr's basic programming was self-preservation, whereas Kit would be the preservation of human life, which is also one of the 3 laws of robotics by Isaac Asimov. Wilton Knight, for whatever reason, he didn't program Carr in the way Kit was programmed, but Carr was also very naive. He would be trying to understand things like humor and what have you, why there are police and what have you. There is like one amusing exchange between him, Tony, and the Rev, as the characters were called. It goes, "Do you wish to eat? Yes. Do you wish to drink? Yes. Do you wish to reproduce? Yeah. Which one first?" And the Rev just goes and says, "I got about a couple of eggs sunny side up. I have no eggs. Perhaps you can direct me to a chicken." And I thought, wait a minute. I was like, did he just crack a joke? And although this line is not meant to be intended as humorous, it's just this one line from Cullen in an episode where he just simply says, "This conversation is non-productive." I'm like, I don't know why, but I find this amusing for some reason. It's just one of those, I'll go with it. But no, Paul Frees's version, this is set 2 years, because they actually managed to set it 2 years chronologically after Carr had been left to just rot by the beach. He had a much more vengeful tone and much more, revenge on his mind or his programming. And Paul would be able to have this darker and much more menacing tone, even to the point where Carr would actually be cursing, which Kit would never do until that rather less than flattering 1991 made-for-TV reunion movie Knight Rider 2000 came about, where, because all of a sudden, everyone wanted to do a movie that was set in the year 2000.
Because the year 2000 was edgy, cool.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the Knight Foundation had relocated to Seattle, even though it was all shot in Houston, Texas. Make of that what you will. Kit has been put in storage because Michael had left the foundation in 1990 because he was burnt out. And of all the things they could think of for the show, for this movie, instead of just dragging Kit out of storage and just, go out and do as they before, Kit's AI is installed into a 1965 Chevy Bel Air, and then much later, he's put into what is supposed to be a 1983 Pontiac Banshee, but it was actually disguised as such because it was a 1991 Dodge Stealth, and he didn't even have half of his capabilities and functions as he would have done in the series. So there's no turbo boost, but you get windshield virtual reality, and I'm like, bleh. But one little thing that some people don't notice, you'd have the future Agent Skinner from the X-Files. Mitch Pileggi was actually playing the chief antagonist. And they had a cryo prison. I'm like, wait a minute, this is sounding oddly familiar. And I'm like, wait, did Demolition Man steal from Knight Rider? The only difference is they go into a cube and they're all still fully clothed, whereas Demolition Man, you didn't get that option of dignity.
But people wanted naked Stallone.
I gotta give the people what they want,
I like.
It would make sense. He was still in his prime.
Here's the
That
thing.
is true.
Here's the thing. I admire Stallone. I just don't need to see him like that. Nothing personal. That's just not my thing. It might be Lidz's thing, but hey.
Back in the day, yes. Now,
Yeah, you know what they say. It ain't over till it's over, you know?
dude, you're
Okay,
almost in your
okay.
70s. No,
What?
you're almost in your 70s. Don't do that. No.
Hey, listen, I'm still young at heart. I can still do
Oh.
this thing.
No.
Oh God, there's a.
It's never over!
Oh, and Shoma's in the chat. Did someone say? Did someone say naked Stallone? Shut up, Raph.
Raph.
Damn it, Raph!
Oh my god.
Hey, listen, Raph, if you want to draw me a naked 70-year-old Stallone, you know, I would probably pay you, you know? I think just to show these guys they're wrong.
No.
Oh, damn it, Raph.
And of course, there is that rumor that Stallone actually may have done a porno back in the 60s.
Yes, yes, he
I've
did.
Yes,
It-
I heard.
Yes, I
It-
know.
it-
No quiero. No.
It was no, don't worry. This is pre-Rocky Stallone this time, Lydia.
Get better.
Yeah.
Like this is during his like very, very, very desperate point in his life, prior to Rocky, and then after Rocky became popular, the guys behind the porn decided to retitle it "The Italian Stallion."
Oh.
Raiden.
Who else hasn't said about Knight Rider?
I believe
This
Kaiju.
guy.
Oh, Raiden. The same question to you. Given everything that's transpired over the last 38 years, what do you make of the show back then? Does it still hold up to a lot of the shows today?
Funny you mention it because it's the crazy thing. The first time I knew about the Knight Rider itself was because of Busta Rhymes. If anyone remembers the song "Fired Up," he used the sample of the Knight Rider theme song. So that's how I kind of.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows, Busta Rhymes, in a sense, was the king of the '90s when it comes to just. This can be wacky as a whole. So with that said, I didn't know about Knight Rider until I don't know. Okay, here's the funny thing. I didn't know about Knight Rider until I was super. So.
Oh.
The animation website.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So I checked a couple. I remember the second time I knew about it was because of the 08 series, and I thought, okay, I saw one episode. Thought it was cool. Then after that, let me check, one or two. Cool. The whole aside from interesting overtones, yes and no. Yes, because of the fact that talking car. That definitely helps. No, because of the fact that there were some things that you MJ talked about that won't fly today. But as legacy wise, it's still gonna be part of a lot of people's lives who watch the show. And I do feel your pain that new Knight Rider show that came out in 08 that got canceled. I kind of wish they did more, because from what I saw, it was pretty interesting. Well, aside from that GoBot shit you showed me all those years ago.
It's like I say, it was trying to improve itself, but They had the rug pulled out from underneath them.
Yeah.
It is what
It
it
was
is.
on CBS, wasn't it? It was on CBS or NBC. I keep confusing the two.
I think it was CBS, right? Well,
No, it was NBC. CBS is
Oh,
that's Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah, mix that up.
Makes sense that it got canceled on NBC because
It is what it is.
NBC can suck it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Person's gonna get canceled faster than an NBC sitcom.
Ouch.
Oh!
Burn.
Brr, brr, brr.
Right, hang on a second. I'm hoping audio issues are slowly resolving itself because, for whatever reason, I don't know. The headset, I'm not sure if it's the actual headset or the actual headset connection with the wire, but I go to, plug it fully in and it's still being weird. I can hear the actual music coming through, but I still can't hear you guys. Let me just go halfway again. Alright. Someone say something.
Oh,
Something.
That's better. That's better.
Thing.
Yeah, I've just
There
literally...
you go. There you go.
I've turned the speakers off, but for whatever reason, maybe it's something, with Discord being screwy, which I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me because, we've all said Discord's just being weird.
butt.
That's
Mhm.
that's a very polite way of phrasing it, Kaiju.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get to Kaiju with regards to Knight Rider. I know you've said before you hadn't ever really gotten around to watch it.
Right.
Has that
So
has that changed at all in the last 3 years since we last just talked about when it got to a pivotal anniversary point, or is it still one of those you're getting round to it?
Pretty much it's the latter, unfortunately. So there's nothing. I don't feel like there's nothing significant I can add that I hadn't already said 3 years ago.
Fair enough. Well, since there is enough people in right now, you know what? That's it, Link. You will behave yourself. Yes.
Oh, I want.
I do what I want.
I do what I want.
Well, folks, it's that time again.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
I can hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, I'm not gonna do it. My lung can't do that.
Well, I'm at 0.
All right,
Same.
I'm at 0.
Likewise.
Same
Yep.
Everyone's at 0.
Mm-hmm.
3,
Mhm.
2, 1. Premiere. Play.
Age of AI is upon us. Time when the robots will rule. When they have taken Earth from us, we will remember what fools. We
Catchy
will
tune.
program self-teaching.
Mhm.
They taught themselves to adapt. Acceleration increases. Singularity happens so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yes.
So fast, so fast, so.
Sequels. Sometimes they can be worth the wait, and other times...
Is that what your hair currently looks like now?
Not so much. When you look back at movies like Back to the Future Part 2, in which the audience was yearning for by the time it was released in 1989, it was worth the wait with the expansion of the pros and cons of time travel and is still treasured in 2020. And then you get sequels like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, in which it made comic book fans forgive Spider-Man 3. And in 1999, James Cameron
You done
and Arnold
goofed.
Schwarzenegger reunited for the sequel to the original Terminator with Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So let's see, after 29 years, this still holds up as we go back in time once more.
As old as I am.
We see the story picking up 11 years later in 1995. John Connor is 10 by this point and in the custody of foster parents as Sarah has ended up in the Pescadero Mental Institute after getting shot in trying to blow up a computer factory. This has to be said, I have to question why Skynet would send another Terminator specifically 11 years later to go after John Connor when it could have been 2 to 3 years after the first attempt. Anyone else thinking this? That aside, it seemed like such a twist to have another T-800 sent to protect John after the original had left a mark in the communities that left several police officers' families widowed and fatherless. But in a weird way, it was a natural choice because who would be better equipped to face a new and deadlier threat in the form of the T-1000 than a machine that would have detailed files in how that Terminator would operate? One thing that James Cameron is really good with these movies is that he knows how to keep a consistent pace, so that the story keeps you invested, even when there's no action scenes. Truthfully, I think some of the best driving points of the movie is these scenes of contemplation where Sarah is enduring what it all means in losing the custody of John to trying to keep a grip on her own sanity. It's one of those scenes that make you think. In the original, she fought to survive from the first Terminator so that she would live and give birth to her son. In this movie, she's acting like the first machine when she decides to go after Miles Dyson. When the T-800 reveals that it's Dyson that creates a revolutionary processor based on the destroyed chip from the first Terminator that would lead to the creation of Skynet. While it may have been Sarah's intent to stop the creation of Skynet, I think this is where her humanity was being tested, as she was basically mirroring what the original Terminator did. Just as interesting was seeing this implied father-son relationship between the T-800 and John. After his chip had been reset from read-only to be able to write new information, we see the robot learning to say, no problemo, as opposed to affirmative, as a means of trying to be able to fit in and be like a machine. Even to the cyborg learning how to smile, which led to this nice moment. The theme of evolution was in play as Skynet.
This movie did have very endearing moments.
T-1000 was a machine that was liquid metal, that was also much faster and had stealth. That makes for a much deadlier machine, as you can now have a Terminator that can shapeshift and hide in plain sight. I think this is an unused aspect that got carried over from the original, as if Lance Henriksen had been cast as the Terminator, then he would have been able to hide in plain sight. As opposed to Arnold, that was basically the Incredible
That is
Hulk
true.
without the green skin. The other theme that is highlighted is something that Sarah says as a voiceover as they drive onto a highway into the night. If a machine, a Terminator, can learn the value of human life, maybe we can too. I feel like in that moment, as the T-800 says his goodbye to John, Sarah regained her humanity and understood what the cyborg had learned in bonding with her son. That she relearned that too, and shook his hand as a mark of respect and gratitude for what he had done.
Aww.
3 cast members from the original return, while some newcomers make their debuts. But this was a twist. In the original, he was the prime antagonist as well as the titular character, whereas this time he essentially does a face turn in being sent to be John's protector after being reprogrammed. Arnold delivers what many believe is his best performance as the Terminator to date, as he still had the emotionless aspect of the original, but added some new animations and traits of smiling, albeit awkwardly at first. The Sarah we meet in this sequel is a much different woman than from what we had seen previously. Here, she is jaded, battle-weary, and bitter. Bitter for having John taken away from her, jaded and battle-weary from all the battles she had fought thus far in blowing up factories hoping to stop Skynet and Judgment Day from happening. If you thought the transformation that Sarah went through in the first movie was anything to go by, then this sequel sees an extreme transformation, as Linda went through some intense training to be as lean as she was physically.
Damn.
Gone are the curves that
The muscles.
the lean muscle that she sports when she's lifting her body weight up.
Look at the biceps, the triceps, the pectorals.
As mentioned just now, she is not the carefree Sarah from the beginning of the first movie. In this, she's a certified badass and takes nonsense from no one in getting what she needs for the mission.
I need clothes, food, and one of your trucks.
Hey, how about the feelings out of my teeth?
Now, Enrique.
Edward was a great casting choice to play the future leader of mankind. Like Sarah from the first movie, he goes through his own transition from being a preteen troublemaker as a juvenile delinquent with his foster parents, to taking charge as a leader in getting the T-800 to break his mother out from the mental hospital, and realizing that everything that he thought was a lie from his mother was all true. Like with his co-star from the first movie, if
Yes!
had played
The
this
T-1000.
Terminator, I don't think it would be as remembered the way it has been for the last 29 years. Robert has this equally cold and menacing presence as the original T-800 gave from the first movie, but whereas that Terminator was
His
built like
cameo
a
in
tank
Wayne's
and
World
not
was
a
the best.
tank,
Yes.
T-1000 was more like a sports
License
car,
and registration, please.
and the evolution in this Terminator model with the T-1000, where it's able to shapeshift into different people and have his arms become stabbing weapons, show how Skynet evolved their strategy in wanting to stamp out John Connor. I really liked him.
Maybe they should have fed
Dyson
more than
seemed
one.
likable,
Just saying.
intelligent, innovative, and a good family man. To be able to play an engineer that was dedicated to revolutionizing the future, to then making a switch to destroy the work he had put his heart and soul into, takes a performance of conviction, as you have to be able to convey the sense of being bittersweet. You know it's for the right reasons, but at the same time, you feel gypped that you have to destroy something you've put many hours into, and Joe does this flawlessly. Michael makes his return as a cameo in a dream sequence for Sarah, warning her of what was to come now that John is the target. For the very brief appearance that Michael has in this, he delivers a decent performance and seemingly aged very little from the first movie. Knowing that this sequel would have a much larger budget at its disposal as opposed to the $6 million that the original had, would allow James Cameron to do what he could not do with the former, as the chase sequences are longer and far more intense. Two examples that come to mind are the opening chase sequence.
Oh, that one's a good scene.
Young John with the T-800 intervening. As good as this is,
Terminator versus Nemesis Prime.
Stunt actors clearly visible, 100 turbo boost from the ledge.
That'd be a great
landing
comic book
and then
series.
pulling John out of harm's
Oh,
way
hell yeah.
before the semi-tractor crushes the moped. It doesn't ruin the sequence, but it does cheapen it. Slightly. Whereas today they would use either CG or just deep fake it to paste Eddie Furlong and Arnold's faces onto the stunt actors' faces. The second chase sequence is the last near the end, when our heroes are trying to evade the T-1000, who has now commandeered a police helicopter, and makes chase with them on the highway. That culminates with the two trucks being totaled at a melting pot factory. This was also one of the first major movies to have ILM introduce the advances in computer-generated imagery. ILM had worked on The Abyss, which was also directed by Cameron. Knowing that CG would allow the movie to be able to do things that live-action practical effects could not, would aid in bringing the T-1000 to life as a living shapeshifter. The use of miniature effects were brought in to help bring Sarah's nightmare vision to life, of what Judgment Day would look like. And it's very eerie how graphic the effects are, with how contorted Sarah looked when hit with the blast. 29 years
I miss
on,
those
and the
model
effects are still
explosions.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's what made the first Independence movie so good. They blew up those models.
They blew the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
4 million to 102 million, then suffice to say that Brad Fiedel had much more to play with, as opposed to the techno keyboard score from the former. Everything from the general score to the theme track itself felt like a massive upgrade compared to the original movie. Even the recurring metallic sound heard in the main title was done with a cast iron frying pan being hit with a hammer. If the first movie was any indication,
I got a fever and it needs more cast iron.
Then the score for this picture
bells.
matches it by keeping the audience's pulse
Excuse
rate
me.
and not
You're
giving a
excused.
moment to slow down. That said, one of the more somber moments is when a sad score is played as the T-800 is lowered into the pit after saying goodbye to John. It's such a tender moment where the machine understands the emotion behind John crying and John having to say goodbye to the only father figure he's ever known. The score was bigger and longer than its predecessor, and 29 years later, it holds up in spades. The movie grossed a profit of $520.8 million against a budget of $92 to $102 million. When you adjust that for today's inflation, its takings would be $1 billion. It received
Blimey.
widespread critical acclaim from fans and critics praising Schwarzenegger's performance, building on from what he had established from the original by taking the character of Terminator and spinning it on its head by having a machine with a heart, as opposed to the original where it was just a persistent assailant. Cameron received equal praise in expanding on what he had created back in 1980.
Oh god, that's where they got that scene from Last Action Hero.
He had a much bigger budget when compared to
Doing
the
Hamlet.
dollars he had to work with for the original, which the pair joke about in an interview, saying that the budget for the first movie was used for Arnold's trailer home in the sequel. It's what many fans cite as the true ending to the Terminator story, as the two Terminators
I completely
destroyed
agree.
the end,
Yes.
Yep.
therefore stopping any remote possibility of Skynet and Judgment Day coming to fruition. But as we all know, Hollywood likes to be greedy. Terminator 3
I like that.
Playing out the same plot line of T2, but with Sarah Connor now deceased in the story, and Skynet beginning its hostile takeover of the world. Judgment Day's story aspect would be reused 2 more times. with Terminator Genesis.
No.
Oh my god, it's Genesis.
Dark Fate.
No.
Genesis.
Used as the backdrop for the Sarah Connor comic,
Yes.
in which the story picks up 4 years after the events of Judgment Day in 1999 and sees John, Sarah, and Cameron time traveling to 2007 to stop Skynet. Terminator 2 has been enjoyed on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K since 1991. I'm MJ Knight, and hasta la vista, I'll be back again.
You loved filming that, didn't you?
And in 1991, director James Cameron and star Arnold Schwarzenegger Don't pause. Well, don't go too quick, but please do not be going too slow, otherwise you'll be going into blooper territory already, Mr. Knight. You have been terminated once before in the bloopers, and this time, hasta la vista, baby. You know, you see Ray is like, dude, you are enjoying this way too much. There's like, that's like so ham, you'd be doubling up for Mark Hamill, and there's Wynn going,
You're not wrong.
smiles up to her eyebrows. You might want to get that looked at, by the way.
Hey!
You see the story picking up 11 years later in 1995.
Excuse
and
you.
John Connor is 10 by this point.
Love
living
you
with
too,
foster
honey.
Parents as he got put into their custody after Shara. Shara Connor. Do we share the Shara?
Oh god, Cher, no!
What? Share the Sarah. Share the Sarah. Almost sounds like a. Like
I was
a
thinking
car-
more Cher, but alright.
Chevrolet Motors presents Share the Sarah. Brandon's like, what?
Okay.
We see the story picking up 11 years later in 1995, and John is 10 by this point, living with foster. Yeah. What's up, Doc? I'm the rabbit mentor. I need your jacket, your motorcycle, and your next batch of carrots. Wabbit, you won't be dominated here. I could like see that the Wabbinator.
Oh god.
And Elmer Fudd is like the Kyle Reese. It's like so.
Oh God, no!
Nah.
Oh God, no!
Reese.
God damn it,
Whoever's watching
MJ.
this, please make a parody of that. Bugs
Ah.
Bunny is the Rabinator. While it may have been her intent to stop the creation of Skynet, I think
He comes out of the portal. It's like, I think I made a bad left turn at Albuquerque.
these bloopers are starting to become irritating. If you do that, I will have to make you rewatch TNA reviews with Ori Rakaku. Mr. Terminator, should that ever happen, please put me out of my misery. Careful what you wish for. It's either that or, well, I don't know. You and Awesome Lydia will have to rewatch, you Keeping Up with the Kardashians from season 1.
No!
Try to kick my you don't want to see that happen. No.
No!
I love the well-placed censorship leap.
Honey, behave. Yes, dear. Oni gets given with one hand, taken away with the other. Don't worry, Oni. I'll try and get you. I'll try to get you one of my T-shirts for Christmas. How about that? You could wear a T-shirt that says, "I am a knight." Why not? Knowing that this sequel had a much bigger budget at its disposable. Okay, that's weird. But
Nicely done.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've just been reminded of something.
Wait for it.
It has all come to this.
Oh my God.
And that's Broken Timeline's done for at least a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, next September we'll open up with Terminator 3.
Oh,
Oh
no.
lord.
No.
Good luck with that.
I like how it keeps recommending that particular issue with Real Futures. I don't know why it does that.
Mm.
So, okay if I add a little tip in there.
Sure.
In the actual dream sequence, just before the Holocaust, they actually got Linda Hamilton's twin sister, Leslie Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
to play the kind of duplicate Sarah Connor. Unfortunately, she died earlier this year on
She
August
did.
22nd.
She did.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, if I remember right, I can't remember if it was like from cancer or COVID.
I think, from what I recall reading, it was actually cancer that took her.
Ah, yeah, cancer.
Because,
Well,
go on.
I never really noticed that they featured two actresses playing the same kind of character during that scene.
Well, they did the same thing with the security guard at the mental hospital, because the one who gets sadly impaled through the head, that was actually his twin.
Hmm.
So people thought, oh, that was some like early CG. It's like, no, they just got a twin, and it's the same thing with Sarah's, Linda's sister doubling up, because they thought it was like, oh, they've got an actress who looks identical. It's like, no, she just happens to be her twin.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
As, like Raiden, I've lost count the amount of times I've gone back to Terminator 2. I mean, every once in a while I'll go back to watch the original to be like, okay, just remind myself where it all came from. Terminator 3 and 4 I watch occasionally out of morbid curiosity.
Emphasis on morbid.
It's like I said.
Also, I don't call it Terminator Salvation. I call it Christian Bale screaming the Salvation. We're all dead.
I just simply refer to that as Batman time traveled into the future and disguised himself as John Connor. That's what I look at it
I
as.
knew it.
But
I'll never forget that blood-fueled rage quit he gave to the director. I don't know who it was, but
it was a guy doing the lights.
It was. I think it was a production assistant, I believe. Think for 1 fucking second.
I still can't believe he's British.
Yeah.
Neither can I.
Yeah, because I heard him in an interview for The Prestige, and he was speaking with a full English accent, where shortly after you hear Hugh Jackman speaking in his Australian accent.
Like, what?
And I will say, they were all pretty good in that film, and Scarlett Johansson did put a lot of raw emotion in that movie. She was great in The Prestige.
It's like you say, give her the right material to work with, and she can actually produce something decent. But if you give her something that's whereby she's just going through the motions, like Ghost in the Shell, I mean, in terms of looking like the Major, I mean, physically she looked the part, but even the Major had a reasonable amount of charisma to her. Scarlett, it's like Wynn says, give her the right material that will accommodate her acting skills, and it'll be decent. But no, that movie, no. And it's like Raiden once said, stop screwing up anime.
Yes.
Just kind of why we're kind of glad they haven't ever gone back to revisit a live action version of Dragon Ball.
No.
I mean, could you imagine?
I mean, China couldn't do it. South Korea couldn't do it. America couldn't do it.
I mean, imagine what it'd be like.
Just stop.
I mean, imagine what
Indonesia. Let's go.
Imagine what it'd be like if they ever tried taking a stab at a live action Tenchi Muyo.
No.
I was gonna say it would have to depend on the director, but regardless of everything, the only Motoko Kusanagi I can ever see is the ever talented voice actress Mary Elizabeth McGlynn.
Yep.
Oh, there was that
one...
rumor that. Oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah, she was the one that did it for a standalone complex and most of the other franchise.
And she did it for the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that there was supposed to be a live-action Sailor Moon movie with Megan Fox as Sailor Moon, I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. No.
Fortunately, that just turned out to be a rumor with someone trolling.
Oh God, thank God for that, because it's like, okay, done. I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Nah, if you have to insist on making a movie like that, I'd say follow MJ's advice and cast someone unknown.
Worked for Superman. And it worked for Spidey. And technically it worked for Wolverine as well, because did anybody really know who Hugh Jackman was before he did X-Men?
Nope.
Or at least someone Or at least someone who looks the part and has a passion for acting in the roles. That worked for Robert Downey Jr. Because, holy shit, even before he was cast, his resemblance to Tony Stark was uncanny.
Pretty much. Trying to think who else skyrocketed after being unknown. You could make the argument Christian Bale skyrocketed up after doing Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
He was.
Or before that, American Psycho.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. It was a good movie, but it's one I probably wouldn't watch again because that movie left me a little squeamish.
Yeah, that movie takes a lot out of you.
I've watched that movie twice already. It's amazing.
That
It's
scene where
great.
the Jared Leto character in that movie.
Oh yes, I love that scene. Him dancing in a raincoat. That's burrowed in my head.
Oh god! And the fact that it's scored with Huey Lewis in the news, I'm like, okay.
And then he would go. Then he would go on to voice Hal in Hell's Moving Castle, but he actually did a great performance in that.
Mm-hmm.
Although interesting thing, Huey Lewis and Weird Al actually went and parried that piece because Huey was getting sick and tired of Weird Al, quote unquote, ripping off his music. So Huey kind of reenacted what Christian did in that scene from American Psycho.
Oh my god!
Mm.
I'm like, okay, that's interesting to parody a parody, I guess. Although I'm hoping they'll never actually do a parody movie of Terminator, because could you imagine what it'd be like if Freeberg and Seltzer got the rights to do that?
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Nah. But like I say, with regards to Terminator 2 being what many consider as the definitive end, because look at the way it ended. Both chips were thrown into the pit. That should have stopped any chance of Skynet happening, but as I said in the verdict, Hollywood's greedy, and Rain is like, bruh, don't even get me started.
Mm-hmm.
And this gift conveys me my thoughts on Friedberg and Seltzer ever touching a movie again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sandrock.
Always has been one of my favorites.
I'm more partial to Wing Zero.
Take this, my love, my anger, and all of my sorrow.
Wrong series.
It's because I posted a Domon Kashu gift after, because G Gundam and Gundam Wing have always been my favorites of the franchise.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Oh, now I see the gifts. Okay.
I put kind of a, and this is also to the audience as well, but I ask you guys first and foremost, double-sided question.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Terminator 2 nearly 3 decades later? And obviously, what did you think of the review?
Oh, I thought the review was great, and T2 is actually one of my favorite movies. It holds up. It's like I watched it as a kid, and it scared the living shit out of me. I wasn't able to watch the original Terminator movie, sadly, but because I was too young, and it was a little too violent. And finding out T2 was a lot worse. The scene that gets me is where, like, the stepmom is talking to John over the phone. The T-800 knowing that, yeah, your parents are fucking dead. And next shot is his stepmom with the spiked hand impaling the stepfather. I'm like, yeah, okay. You're living up to that PG-13 rating, but again, it's one of my favorite movies. I love it, and it's still action-packed. It's fun. And again, still, it should have been the end of the Terminator franchise, but again, Hollywood gotta be Hollywood and ask for that money. So,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The one scene I really wanted to feature badly in would be writing, by the way, this is a badass entrance when Arnold steps off the steps of the bar and you hear Bad to the Bone playing, but you would have had the copyright hawks going, no, I'm gonna slap one on your video. It's just like, I wanted to include that scene, but it's just like, no, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been fortunate with the last, well, actually, to be fair, every review since Hulk, not one video has had a copyright claim put on it, because there's two different versions to those. Not
Hang on, guys.
Sure. Two different types of claims on YouTube that some may not be aware of. There's the one where your video gets taken down or gets blocked, and there's the one where it's like, you got some of our stuff in your video, we're not going to take it down, but we're just going to run ads and we claim the money off of it. Which is like, it's a catch-22, but I'm just very grateful that I've somehow managed to strike a balance, or I've just been lucky and not had anything flagged up, but there's just some risks I'm not really wanting to take. But I just remember something that Kaiju had once said, might have been back when we were doing the commentary on the Jurassic Park reviews, like just using the right amount of copyright footage without getting flagged up or anything. So that's always been like a little voice at the back of my head, although if I ever hear Kaiju's voice saying, you will buy that Kaiju move, it's like, okay, I've been listening to you too much.
Oh, you haven't been listening to him enough.
Maybe. Same question to Stephen. What are your thoughts on T2 to this day, and obviously thoughts on the review?
In terms of the review, very good analysis, I have to say.
Thank you.
With my experience with Judgment Day, never really saw it when it first came out because that was the year I was born. But I watched the extended edition, which included scenes such as the reprogramming of the T-800's chip, along with a few others. But one of the scenes that really got me, because I saw some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and when it came to making the scene of the nuclear holocaust, that was something that I think the filmmakers, they felt really uncomfortable with some of it because it was so realistic.
Yeah. Very realistic.
So that's something that really got me. That even in recreating it, it still gave them shivers.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't put in the final version of the review, where I said it, it looked very graphic with the way Sarah in her nightmare was so contorted and disfigured, where you would see her being burnt to a cinder and what have you. I'm like, even if I put a black and white filter on to just sort of try and make it look less graphic, it's like, can you really put that in a review?
No.
Not really, so I just thought, no, I'll leave that out.
I think they said they ended up going through about 6 models of Sarah for that sequence.
Jeez.
But
yeah.
It is a really good film.
Yep.
And a good sequel, which is rare these days.
Well, like I say, when I mentioned in the introduction, Back to the Future Part 2, everybody wanted that. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, we did want it, but then when we got it, ugh.
They tried. They really really tried, but no.
This is what happens when you're rushed during crunch time and there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's potential, but everyone has to have their little implementation, and then it turns into a clusterfuck.
I mean, just look at the Bayformers sequels.
Except for Age of Extinction and, of course, Bumblebee.
Yeah.
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 And to kind of give credit where credit's due, Revenge of the Fallen was at least a fun movie, and I did get to see Optimus Prime dual-wield weapons.
The question to win now. Thoughts on T2 to this day, and obviously, how did I do?
Still love the movie. The movie aged well. It's probably the best in the franchise. Never seen the Sarah Chronicles television show, but Terminator 2 and Finding Salvation, okay, but 2 was always my favorite and still is. And in terms of the review, I believe you did it justice.
Thank you. Alright then.
Time and time again, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, I will always watch this day. My personal favorite, aside from Sarah Connor Chronicles. The movies can go fuck itself. And your review is possibly one of your best, so, good on you.
Thank you.
And like I said, good luck on Terminator 3 and the rest, because good lord, you're going to need it.
Well, like I say, Terminator 3 thankfully won't be for a full year yet, because it's going to take at least another 2 years before I've gotten through the whole series. I mean, this year, Turtlevember resumes in just a little over a month, which means Ninja Turtles 3 and TMNT will be the subject of review. And last but never least, my partner in crime, my mentor, my advisor, Mr. Noir, I await your 2 cents.
Terminator 2 is an incredibly nostalgic movie for me. It was pretty much like one of the very I can't recall to a time when I didn't see Terminator 2. Like, I remember Terminator 1 and 2 were kind of one of those early sci-fi movies I grew up watching ever since I was a little kid. And so obviously it aimed at an older audience. It was a movie that got better with age as I grew older and was able to understand more and more of its story. And yeah, it's an absolute timeless classic and one of the few sequels that manages to outdo the original. And as for your review, you definitely did a spectacular job at being concise, straightforward, to the point, and gave a very in-depth review while also pointing out what little flaws there were in this masterpiece.
Because like I say, you look at that one scene where he's leapt off the ledge, then he's picking John up. It's like, stunt actors are obvious. Whereas today, like I said, they would just either CG or deep fake it. Because, that's how tech has advanced to that point. But, hey, it is what it is. They keep trying to outdo Judgment Day. It's just like, stop. You can't.
I feel like the idea behind Salvation was a good one. Because it's like, obviously you cannot prevent, obviously the characters have prevented Skynet, and you can only prevent Skynet so many times before it gets redundant. Mm-hmm. So having planning out a trilogy of movies set within the actual war is not a bad idea, I feel. In a way, you're going off in a brand new direction while also keeping within the natural story of Terminator, that being showcasing the war between man and machine. The Kyle Reese and Christian Bale, all that good stuff. I mean, not Christian Bale,
John Connor.
John Connor, yes. John Connor, Kyle Reese, all that stuff, even like the beginning of Terminator Genesis, that was good. I honestly like, you know, anything to do with the war stuff. So it's like, it's not. I don't hate Salvation. I think like Salvation could have been a lot better, but it definitely could have been. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot worse. But it's like, I think they were on the right track, and it's a shame that they abandoned the Salvation trilogy and ended up doing these weird pseudo reboots, in continuity reboots with Genesis and Dark Fart.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh god damn it.
Oh, that's
Dark Fart. I love that.
You should have heard what other people called it. They called it woke fate.
Ah.
I think Red Letter Media called it deep fake.
Ouch.
Ah.
Ooh.
Damn. Mind you, what was it?
And oh yeah, I have seen the first season of Sarah Connor Chronicles, and that is good. That's perhaps like the closest Terminator has ever gotten to the majesty of those first two movies. It's not a perfect series, but it's pretty damn good. And it was a shame it was canceled.
It had potential.
It was on Fox.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know. I never understood Fox's hate boner for sci-fi shows.
Yeah, it was this.
It's probably
it was
the
Firefly. I'm like, why?
I think it had to do with the price tag attached to sci-fi shows.
Mm-hmm.
You
Your
forget.
Your big network have all this money, yet you won't do shit with it.
And you keep reproducing trash.
Yeah.
Trash!
Punish me.
You do realize you're talking about a network that refuses to let Family Guy or The Simpsons die.
I mean, they still. I mean, as long as people still watch them, they'll still continue to make them.
But when you get rid of a lot of the principal things about it, what's the point?
Not one
Well,
that portrayed.
Aside from Bob's Burgers, I still like watching that.
Yeah, that one's still charming, but regardless, it just feels as though the only mantra that's around these days is just make dumb shows for dumb people on television, where at least with streaming services, when they do new IPs, they try something new, and 9 times out of 10, the writing is actually really heckin' good. This is why public television and cable are dying.
Oh.
Well, that's why so many people are going over to Netflix, Apple TV, Disney Plus, Hulu, and, you know, even the WWE Network, because they want to watch it when they want it, how they want it, and where they want it.
Yep, I cut the cord 8 years ago.
Something the BBC could learn from.
Oh, don't even get me started on them.
I really hope the
Yeah.
I really hope the license fee is abolished this year, because it doesn't work in this day and age, because apparently in the last 6 months to a year, at least about 100,000 UK citizens have cancelled their TV license.
Oof.
Yep, they're making it very clear. It's like to the BBC, like, look, you want to continue, either have it whereby you are not criminalized for not having a TV license, or become like a Netflix subscription where if you don't want the BBC, you don't have to pay for it, you just watch all the other channels.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the BBC have this rather, how do I say this, tactfully, have this rather less than tactful approach of having their opinions in news broadcasts, as opposed to being an actual journalist and just say, here is the news, we present it to you like this, there is no emotional or personal attachment with it, whereas the news presenters now, like, you know, and we end this news with, this has been happening for too long in the country, it's something the Prime Minister should get more focused on. It's just like, lady, you're supposed to be a newscaster, act like one, please.
sort of being biased but unbiased in a way.
I get where you're coming from, but if you're offering your opinions in a news broadcast when you should be just talking about the news, then you're not really, being unbiased or what have you. Pizza time is good. Well, Sean says he's mad at Netflix for cancelling Dark Crystal. Oh yeah, because that came back recently, didn't it?
Yeah, and they've cancelled it.
Yeah,
it was really good.
It was a super amazing series.
I always find it weird how the better shows that are doing well get cancelled, and then it's placed something mediocre is there. And it's just like, why? Why?
Well, in my case, in the case of Dark Crystal, it's probably because it's either too expensive to keep up production, and the fact that in a post-coronavirus world, creating a show that involves a shit ton of puppeteers working together is probably not a good idea.
Which makes sense. At least until we get a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Or when things try to settle down.
And
people stop being stupid.
Yeah, this is just me just saying it like it is. This virus would have 86'd out of here by now if people stopped going to large gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. This is not me, trying to get too animated about this, but we want this thing to be gone. As much as we don't like or care for some of the things that governments of the world are asking for, it's like, look, just this one time, take a now. Just do it. Because we want this thing to be gone, and we're going into October. In less than a week, the temperatures are still going to drop. We don't have the summer heat to fall back on this time, which means double the effort just to be safe. And, and this is me just trying to say something nice now. I'd like to see this virus gone, so that next year, all of us can get together.
Nice.
Imagine just showing up for Oni's birthday. Oh, hey Oni, how you doing? MJ, what the hell are you doing here? Am I dreaming? No, honey, you're not dreaming. Ooh, Liz is here. Okay, this is a nice dream.
And then I just show and give him Stormbringer.
Bless you.
And then Elman shows up. Hello there, Oni. Elman, what the hell are you doing here?
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
But no, that'll be super sweet for next year because, hey, it'd be nice to have something to look forward to for a change. Because the only things that we've had, well, speaking only for myself, the only things I've had to look forward to this year, one of which was Sonic's long-awaited debut at the box office, which, if somebody had asked me 10 years ago, would I have been going to watch a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I'd say, what, like a remake of the anime movie from 99? And like, no, a live action one. I was like, what? But they did it competently.
They made it work.
With regards to anything to look forward to with WWE, I like the fact they put the belt on McIntyre. Finally, because the guy worked for it. Bayley and Sasha, I'm glad they finally split them up at last, because I know you've been a fan of it, Liz, but for me it wasn't working. That,
No, I wasn't a fan of it either. I wanted it to go away.
And as for what they're doing with Alexa at the moment, I'll give the writers this. It's creative. I'll grant them that, but I don't want to see Alexa or, Harley Bliss, Alexa Quinn, whichever you want to call it. I just want Alexa Bliss to be Alexa Bliss, like I say,
I mean, she's in real life. She's a big fan of horror, so she's just probably having fun with us.
I just like Alexa the way she was when she was tagging up with Nikki, because that's the Alexa I like. But you know, obviously this current run is not meant for me, so I'm not gonna rain on it, but I'm not gonna praise it either. I mean, if there's some people out there that enjoy it, that's just great. Me, not a fan. Let's see. Other things.
I've posted a little. Oh, sorry.
We'll take a look.
Posted a little palette cleanser and fan animation.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess it's not really a fan animation. It's a parody commercial.
Yeah.
That's a sequel to another commercial that involved an astronaut on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty amusing.
Dan's just said, I kind of want Alexa to be an extension of the fiend that attacks the women's division.
I mean, I guess.
I do like that she's healed again because that's her natural ability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her haste run was cool, but it just felt a little forced to me. Speaking of forced, how about that retribution?
It's
Good.
stupid.
Yes, it is. I've said this on Facebook a lot. It's just a bunch of trust fund kids just wanting to be heard. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
All I see with it is Nexus 2.0.
I like aces and eights, except more shittier.
We don't talk about
it. Well, here's the thing. No matter what, at least it was better until it got worse in the end. And it was more well thought out. This shit is like a poor Dark Knight Rises parody.
Do you think that you're in charge?
That shit looks cheap as hell.
Dan's just saying, suddenly AEW's Dark Order doesn't look so silly compared to Retribution. Other than that, there's not really a lot more to look forward to for 2020 other than what are they going to do for Christmas? Because Christmas is a huge question mark this year. I know.
And working in retail, I feel as though it's just like more people have been shopping online due to this whole thing, which has meant our store's has been closed. I don't mind that because
on the bright side, Black Friday is non-existent.
Yay!
Dan says it's pretty bad when your vintage collection of Ninja Turtles have more threatening villain names than those of Retribution's members.
T-Bar, Mace, Revelation. Where'd they pick this shit from? Kindergarten?
You're gonna want to hear what they wanted to use for one of the female members of Retribution. It's a very offensive stereotype for a Mexican. I'm gonna type it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Saying out loud, but yeah, that
no.
Ay, Dios mío.
I know, right? That was supposed to be for the female Latina. I should do that now. What you're doing?
Okay. Oh damn. I would die laughing if they did that. I'm sorry. I gotta do it now.
Damn. Damn.
Damn.
Damn.
I can tell you, the next batch of reviews that'll be coming up, they are going to be Hulk related.
Before that, MJ, aren't you happy Raw Down Rebound is no longer exists?
I'm kind of bittersweet with regards to that. On the one hand, yes, because I don't have to cover how bad the product is. But no, because I do miss the camaraderie that myself, Oni, and L-Man would have on there, particularly from season 5 through 6. 7 could go die in a fire, and then into season 8, and then the first season of Next, but that's season 7. No, that was just bad. The other aspects I don't miss about it is when I would do the aftermatch as kind of like a, not after hours sort of thing. It's like you have the main thing, and then you talk about all the other bits and pieces that are going on within that particular industry. And I only wanted it to be like, say, half an hour to 45 minutes. It would get to a point where Oni was pushing it past an hour, and I'm sort of looking at my watch at times like, dude, I want to go to bed sometime tonight. There were a couple of times during some of those recordings I would actually fall asleep, and then I would have L-Man or Oni just sort of saying to me, it's like, MJ, we're right. I'm like, what? Because, I don't know. That's why I was only glad just to bring it back sporadically, just for like the main 4 pay-per-views, but after friendship counseling, I'm like, that's it, I'm out. That's just when it got bad. I don't know. Would I review it again today? I'd have to have like a major reason to come back to it, like, I don't know, the return of the Attitude Era. Or they announced that, say 2 years down the line, Vince McMahon has retired. It's like, okay, I may just resubscribe to the network. Would they actually take the filters off? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Let's see, what other topics to cover, just to move on to something else. Let me see. Has Goku gotten too strong for Earth? It's an interesting point of discussion.
He's an alien.
To be fair, yeah.
From comicbook.com, has Goku gotten too strong? Has Dragon Ball made Goku too powerful to stay on Earth? It's a question that's certainly been raised by the current Dragon Ball Super storyline, which has pushed Goku to finally master his latest transformation, Ultra Instinct. Goku first tapped into Ultra Instinct during the Tournament of Power, in order to save his universe from being erased. However, that milestone was a fluke, and since the Tournament of Power, Goku hasn't been able to achieve it again. Until now. In Dragon Ball Super manga, chapter 64, Goku is able to finally reach perfected Ultra Instinct, and it's clear that the power is something that Earth cannot handle. In the latest Dragon Ball Super manga, Goku has been pushed to the emotional brink of death by his mentor, Mirius. The Angel Galactic Patrol agent violated angelic law to help Earth against stand new villain, Moro, and was erased from existence as a consequence. Goku is left feeling that old Saiyan rage, but Ultra Instinct is not all the same as when Goku first achieved Super Saiyan against Frieza. Ultra Instinct requires a fighter to rise above emotion in battle, in order to achieve the perfect serenity between spirit and body that allows for a mode of fighting that's faster than conscious thought. The scene of Goku finally being able to control his Ultra Instinct transformation is epic, but not as epic as when Ultra Instinct Goku actually fights Moro. The formerly unstoppable villain is no match at all for Ultra Instinct, and Goku quickly outmatches him in every sense: offense, defense, and energy manipulation. When Moro flies into a rage at being beaten, he comes at Goku full force, only to put down for good by Goku's finishing move. In fact, Goku uses an Ultra Instinct version of his Super Dragon Punch to levitate Moro into the air and deliver a rising uppercut that's so powerful the shockwaves reverberate across the entire Earth and into space. Ultra Instinct is a divine power which Goku has only been able to learn by studying with angels like Whis and Meros, who used this technique in battle. Both angels were prohibited from fully manifesting Ultra Instinct and fighting with it on the mortal plane, as doing so would be a display of power that violates angelic law. That rule is important to note, as the reactions that various divine figures, angels, Kais, gods of destruction, even divine leaders like Grand Priest and Grand Zero, have had to assail mortal achieving Ultra Instinct. Goku may not just be too powerful to fight on Earth any longer, he may be too powerful for the gods to keep him on the mortal plane at all. Dragon Ball Super fans have long speculated that the series was built into a finale in which Goku has to evolve or graduate to the divine level, while leaving the rest of the Z fighters to fight their own series of adventures. It's the kind of big change Dragon Ball has been pushing toward, and it's getting harder and harder to see how it can avoid that crossroads. Dragon Ball anime is on hiatus. You can read the new manga chapters free at the link available, which I will post into the chat for all to see. All I'm going to say is, how more Gary Stu can they make Goku now?
You're asking the hardest question out there.
Yeah, that's one you're gonna have to ask Toriyama.
Yeah. If he would let Vegeta get a win. No. No, Goku has to win everything.
Although,
yeah, and it's one of like the biggest issues with Dragon Ball as a whole, where it's stuck. It's currently stuck within that 10-year time skip. So there's not really a whole lot they can do. Where it's like they know for a fact that everyone is going to survive by the end of the Super era, or end of the time year skip, because we already know how Dragon Ball Z is supposed to end. Mm-hmm. So all you can really do is just sort of find new ways of having new opponents and new transformations and all this stuff, and have these sort of, I guess you can call, artificial tension, trying to make people believe that there are stakes, even though there really are no stakes, because again, we already know how it's all going to end. So I feel like, and all on top of that, Dragon Ball has become like a huge marketing machine that, you know, they're going to come up with new transformations as new marketing tools for merchandising and video games and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I feel stuff like Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, Broly and all that stuff, you know, like regardless of these sort of how would I call it, regardless of the qualities of these various new forms and transformations and power-ups and all this kind of stuff, it's like I feel like I just see these are sort of like, they're all marketing tools aimed at keeping the franchise alive without a real story behind it. I mean, I feel like maybe that's not the case. That's not fair. There are some really great stories that have come out of these new plot devices per se, but at the end of the day, you can tell that there's a huge difference between what we got in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and what we've got with Super. With Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, these were stories first, marketing tools second. Whereas with the Super era, I feel like it's all marketing first, which led to the stories to come afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
it's like
unfortunate.
Like Super Saiyan was made, like Super Saiyan was created because it fit the story, whereas here, like the story was made to fit Super Saiyan Blue or whatever.
So in other words, something marketing.
Marketing, yes, to quote Masako X. It's all marketing.
Although Sean, complete savage, but he still can't beat Superman.
Ooh.
I understand that actually. This is why I lose.
Yeah.
Especially after getting that lobotomy.
Oh, that shit was bad.
Oh, and I agree with Dan Williams. I would love for Cooler to become canon like Broly did. That would actually be.
Yeah.
I feel like Broly was definitely one of the best contributions to the canon, because now we have a brand new character and his own sort of supporting cast to sort of follow. So I'm actually genuinely, I'm genuinely surprised that they have yet to build on Broly's story after the movie, which came out almost 2 years ago now.
Blimey.
Which would have had,
But yeah,
had Vic Mignogna in it, but
it did.
Oh, it did it?
It did.
It did.
Yeah,
It's John Young Bosch that has the video games, but scandals aside, everything's pretty damn solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan just saying merchandising, where the real money from DBZ.
Real money from DBZ is made. DBZ the flamethrower. The kids love this one.
You can make your own ki blast with fire.
Although someone one time actually made a fan crossover. What if He-Man battled Goku?
That sounds fun.
Let me see if I can find it. What if? I think this is it. It's been a while since I've seen this one, so I'm hoping I'm hitting the.
So I saw on your profile that you like to cook.
Oh, I love it.
And
This is my speciality.
Someone's making money out of it as well. It's like, oh dear, that's naughty.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I noticed it.
Very, very naughty.
One thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you noticed this one YouTubing channel called Orton is God. He's actually gotten his videos monetized. I'm like, I think WWE might have something against that.
Yeah, they are notorious for shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they parade their content. That ass is either getting removed or your whole channel's getting terminated.
Yeah. All right, I'm at 0.
Me too.
Hold on, Ed.
You can buy the full season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Do I look like a self-masochist?
Let me get my shotgun.
That's why I had that as a gag in the bloopers. Like, oh, I don't know. I'd make you and awesome Lydia watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, Liz will come along to try and kick my ass if that ever happens.
Honestly, I'd rather have a lobotomy than deal with that hellhole.
Make that 2.
The thing that gets me is Kim is married to Kanye West. I'm like, okay, who's the douchebag in this relationship?
The answer is yes.
Hesitate, bitch.
I remember this Vine.
Oh, what am I saying? Damn. Alright, everyone ready to go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, play.
Filmation.
YouTube is spazzing out on me.
How was that?
So
No.
you're gonna, yeah, so you're guys gonna go without me.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright, everyone back to the beginning, because, you know...
No. It's literally not working. So you can just continue without me.
what is it blocked?
No, it's just continuous. It's like the what do you call it? The replay signal is just like flashing over and over again.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
weird.
damn it.
That's weird.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, everyone but...
This video does not want to play for me.
Alright.
Hmm.
Everyone but Kaiju back to the beginning, because, like I say, I thought, we'd be able to find a way to get it to work, but obviously not, so much to your inconvenience, I've gone back to 0, so...
Alright.
Same with me.
Ditto.
Oh, now it's
Yeah.
working. All right.
Oh, okay.
Probably
Yes.
just needed a minute.
Hmm.
Hmm.
3.
Technology.
3, 2, 1, play. Say what we will about the animation quality or the way that voice acting hasn't aged too well, God love that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And the way it segues into the Dragon Ball theme.
Ooh.
This is Eternia, home of the Masters of the Universe. Man-at-Arms is showing off his latest
And this guy's
invention,
fine, but it
Prince
needs more little
Adel and
Karibo.
Orko.
With this device I've created, we can transport to any dimension through time and space.
How long have you been working on this, Duncan?
Quite some time. It's taken me 3 years to accomplish, but I have finally pulled it off.
He-Man's a little something to be said.
Orko, you know I don't trust you with. Orko, no!
Orko, no!
God damn it, Orko.
Too late.
Where are we?
Well, I don't know.
Excuse me, sirs. Are any of you entering in the Tenkaichi Budokai?
What's that?
The Tenkaichi Budokai is held once every 3 years. This is where some of the greatest...
Oh god, no offense, but this voice acting is a little cringy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Maybe He-Man should
It kinda
sign up
is.
for it.
Sounds like a
Story
And also
wise,
like also like the you can sometimes hear like the weird hissing in the background of their microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does kind of sound like the old man at arms.
Yo, I sense an enormous amount of ki from you. I can tell you're gonna be a strong fighter. I hope to see you in the tournament.
I'm looking forward to fighting many
Gee.
Thanks.
I'm gonna make sure I beat everyone here, including you, Kakarot.
Oh god, that Vegeta's so bad.
It's about doing your best.
Yeah. The animation's okay, but the voice acting's a little less to be desired.
Oh god.
Well, see you at the tournament.
You too, friend.
Let's just be honest about one thing. At least this is not the big green dog.
Up next,
Oh.
Big green.
we have the unknown He-Man versus Son Goku.
Oh my god, you're God!
Son Goku has been a previous champion here, defeating Ma Jr. at the 23rd
Oh.
tournament. We're hoping he and He-Man put up a good fight. Now
Oh
let the
my god.
tournament begin.
What's wrong with He-Man? He looks so scrawny.
You're trying to grab more than you can handle.
I've handled plenty of big guys like you in my day.
Phrasing.
Fine.
Right in the air.
Oh man, this
The swishes need to be faster. What's wrong with
an afro?
That is He-Man.
Why does Krillin have an afro?
Man in the universe.
He had a bit of
I
a
am
mop
Man at
in the
Arms.
Boo
Just call
saga,
me
but
Duncan.
never an
This is
afro.
Orko. We traveled many miles
I would understand if it were
through
Mr.
space and
Satan,
landed
but
here. No thanks.
Krillin, no.
Sorry.
This Goku fellow seems like a very good fighter. He may defeat He-Man.
No, you're not,
Nobody
Orko.
on
You're not
Eternia
sorry.
has.
That's over a billion miles away from here.
I know, and we may be stuck here for some time. I need
How
a
would you know where
car
Eternia is?
but I don't have the proper equipment.
Well, after the tournament, I could help you out.
Thank you very much.
I don't care how powerful this He-Man fellow is. We need that prize money, and my Goku is gonna win. Give him hell, Goku!
Father's really going at it with this guy. Where did he come from?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, this is so cringe.
I think I might have a palate cleanser for this when it's done.
Oh.
Okay. Reputation of some Prince Valiant haircut whip. Right, Boo?
Yeah.
Boo is right. Boo will win.
If it's all right with you guys, I want to tap out from this. I don't know if I can take much more.
I think I've seen enough.
Yeah, I'm out. I can't. No.
This is so bad.
Fuck.
From the person who gave you Laws Broken, Jurassic Park comes Laws Broken, Indiana Jones from Legal Eagle.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
I've never seen any of this guy's videos, but you know what? Let's do this.
I think a couple seasons back I showed you the Laws Broken for Jurassic Park.
Oh, right. I'm trying to remember.
Simon and Joe both invest in stocks.
That was so cringe.
It's a little long, but it's worth it because Legal Eagle does some really good videos.
Did you ever see his?
All right.
Did you ever see his video on Liar Liar?
Oh no, I've never seen that one. Oh my god, he did work for Willy Wonka.
Yeah, like I said, if you ever hear me recommend a particular YouTuber, it's definitely Legal Eagle, because he'll cover these movies and he'll actually cover legit law cases because he is actually a lawyer.
Sorry, on the DBZ video, I actually remember that.
It's okay. It's okay. Your intentions were good. All right. Just let me know. Just let me know when you guys are at 0-0.
Same.
I'm at 0.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm there.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Court is now in session. Play.
Thanks to Deep Sentinel for keeping Legal Eagle safe and sound. Get 15% off the only security system that stops crime before it happens with a link below. So let's move on to something that is a little bit more fun and lighthearted. Murder.
Murder!
Welcome back to Laws Broken, where an attorney destroys your favorite movies by showing you how illegal everything is, because everything is illegal. Who doesn't love Indiana Jones, the story of a swashbuckling hero professor who saves the world from Nazi megalomania and wins the heart of his fair maiden? Yes, I'm talking about 1981's box office smash, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You probably remember this as wholesome family entertainment, where a professor who happens to be good with a whip saves the world from the worst villains on the planet. Nazis. The movie seems to have it all. Indiana Jones outwitting bad guys and sporting a cool hat, an arrogant French baddie who gets his comeuppance, and a spirited hero
Gets their
who falls
face
in love with
melted,
a man
which
who
was
risks
made
his
for
life.
children.
I hate to break it to you, but Indiana Jones isn't exactly a humble archaeologist. This is a movie where the hero travels the world looting graves and temples, stealing artifacts, and permanently destroying precious historical sites. You know, kind of like the Taliban. He admits to serious crimes against the woman that he's supposed to be in love with, and the movie also has an absurdly high body count. And despite all of the property destruction, grave robbing, murder, kidnapping, and rape, this movie inspired several Disney park attractions. So come for a crazy ride with me as we discover the dark side of Indiana Jones and all the laws broken.
Did you guys ever go to Sunday school?
So let's start with the grave robbing. If you thought it didn't seem right that Indiana Jones was stealing precious artifacts and bringing them home to the United States, And pillaging the Jovitos, well, you might be right. Indiana Jones is an archaeologist who purports to save things to put them in a museum, but is he allowed to steal artifacts from foreign countries and graves to fill a Chicago museum? No? Yes? Well, maybe. Jones may say he wants rare artifacts to be placed in a museum, but later in his apartment we see a number of artifacts that he probably didn't buy from HomeGoods. So what's the real story on people who find, buy, and sell artifacts? Well, treasure hunters, antique dealers, and even museums get busted all the time for selling or transferring or transporting stolen artifacts. And now, for the part you've been waiting for, is Indiana Jones a grave-robbing profiteer? Well, antiques trading can be perfectly legal or totally illegal depending on where the artifacts are found and how they are sold. As long as a person follows the laws of the country of origin regarding excavation, transport, and sale of archaeological artifacts, the trade is generally legal. However, there's also a billion-dollar black market for ancient antique objects. There's no one international law that all nations must follow. Instead, artifacts are protected by treaties like the Hague Convention for the Protection of Cultural Property in the event of armed conflict. This is a treaty ratified by 132 countries that protects cultural property during wars and armed conflicts. There's also the Rome Statute establishing the International Criminal Court, which makes it a war crime to deliberately target religious, educational, artistic, or scientific properties for destruction or defacement. The UNESCO Convention on the Means of Prohibiting and Preventing the Illicit Import, Export, and Transfer of Ownership of Cultural Property is meant to stop the circulation of stolen items, and this convention gives member nations the right to recover stolen or illegally exported antiquities from member countries. Currently, 140 countries are parties to this convention, including Egypt, Nepal, Greece, and all of the South American countries that Indiana Jones may have visited. The United States ratified the UNESCO Convention and implemented it with the Convention on Cultural Property Implementation Act, or CIPA. CIPA applies if the objects are actually cultural artifacts or they are stolen or exported. CIPA includes a safe harbor provision that allows for the import of cultural artifacts to the United States if the importer can provide an export certificate from the foreign country. And the safe harbor provision also applies if the importer can produce satisfactory evidence that the material was either exported prior to the date the import restrictions were published in the Federal Register, or exported from the foreign country at least 10 years prior to the date of entry into the United States. Now, I can hear the internet comments already. There was no CIPA when Indiana Jones museumed the stuff from the South American temple, but it's worth noting that this movie is set in the 1930s, which was kind of a big news decade, in case you were wondering and haven't opened a history book. The Nazis really did loot and plunder priceless works of art, antique objects, and property of people they murdered, and these events actually were the impetus for the international treaties that would one day stop Indiana Jones from taking home souvenirs from his archaeological digs, or at least force him to produce a permit or satisfactory evidence showing that he came by the objects legally. Lawyers, always making people do more paperwork. In America, there is another important law in this particular case, the National Stolen Property Act, or NSPA, which makes it a felony to knowingly possess, conceal, sell, or dispose of any goods of the value of $5,000 or more, which have crossed a state or U.S. boundary after being stolen. The federal government is more likely to use this law than CIPA when someone makes a claim that an American illegally acquired foreign antiquities. And under the NSPA, the word stolen takes on a different meaning than what we're used to in general parlance. Generally, when something is removed from a person or a business or institution, that's theft. But under the NSPA, an object doesn't have to be actually taken from a person or business. Stolen can also mean removed from an abandoned place like a temple or a grave or a historical site that nobody officially owns. So it's illegal under the NSPA to take something from a foreign country.
Alright, I'm at 538. Where are you at?
I'm at 537.
Hang on. One at a time. Where are you at, Raiden?
527.
527. Where's Lids at?
I have 28, so hold on, let me go back a little bit.
There we go. I scooched back.
Okay.
Yep.
3.
Okay.
2. 1. Resume.
Business. Stolen can also mean removed from an abandoned place like a temple or a grave or a historical site that nobody officially owns.
Don't trust Alfred Molina!
It's illegal under the NSPA to take something from a foreign country without explicit permission from its government, or taking something with permission of a colonial or occupying force rather than from the country's current legitimate government. So Indiana Jones could try to defend his theft by arguing that nobody actually owned the golden idol. However, the NSPA also applies when a government simply declares an artifact stolen. This is usually enough in situations where it seems like no one actually owns the artifact in question. And when Jones took the golden idol away from a temple in the deep jungle of South America, let's just say it was from Brazil, it was only a crime if Brazil had passed a law or otherwise declared it a state-owned cultural object. If a foreign government doesn't make an ownership declaration, then some American courts reason that prosecuting people in the US for illegally exporting artifacts from foreign nations would simply amount to the United States enforcing the other nation's laws for them. Now, Indiana Jones isn't the only one engaging in some suspicious activity here. There's also the treachery of Belloc. But stealing the idol from Dr. Jones in the first place brings up another
Who would
question.
go on to be
Could
Ivan
Belloc
Ooze.
get in trouble for stealing the golden idol?
Dr. Jones, again we see there is nothing you can possess which I cannot take away.
Well, in most jurisdictions, if a person accepts
Now
possession
kick him in the
of another
balls.
property and knew that they were stolen, this is a crime. We don't want people
So the
claiming
Power
that they
Rangers
didn't know
beat
the
him.
thing was stolen in the first place and just getting away with selling clearly stolen property. And for the sake of this exploration, let's assume that Belloc sets up a shop in the US with the idol that he took from Dr. Jones. In the United States, receipt of stolen property is a federal crime under 18 U.S.C.
Oh.
2315, defined as
He
knowingly
isn't just a
receiving,
Nazi.
concealing, or disposing of stolen property with a value of at least $5,000 that also constitutes interstate commerce. If Belloc intended to move the idol across state lines, he could be prosecuted for receipt of possession of stolen property. He'd also be subject to prosecution under the NSPA. Of course, receiving and selling stolen property is usually a state law crime, so Belloc would certainly be guilty of all of the state law crimes as well.
I am a shadowy reflection of you. It'll take only a nudge to make you like me, to push you out of the light.
And anyone who received the idol from Belloc would also be guilty. As law students learn from their property and criminal law courses, a thief can't pass good title to stolen objects. And a stolen object retains its stolen status forever, no matter when the thief happens to have taken the object or how many different people held on to that object. This actually happens with some
It's the world's
frequency
worst
in
thief. He
the
just
art
stole a
world.
bike.
For all of you budding art collectors out there, an object's status is stolen also doesn't change if someone buys it in good faith down the line without knowledge that it was stolen many owners ago. Many disappointed art collectors and museums have been forced to return objects that they thought they had purchased from a reputable source. Hobby Lobby recently had to return thousands of Middle Eastern artifacts because they had been wrongfully acquired. This is why Jones' ultimate motive for removing the items doesn't really matter. So Jones went to South America and entered the sanctuary of a temple and removed the golden idol. Did he have a permit for that expedition? It doesn't look like it, and that means he didn't have the permission of whoever owned the site or whatever government is in power. And although this particular expedition probably isn't a war crime, it's still serious enough that Jones is guilty of violating the UNESCO Convention as well as SEPA. He's also in big trouble for removing objects from all over the world and bringing them back to the US. Even if some of the sites were abandoned, like the sanctuary in the opening sequence, probably doesn't matter, and Jones could expect to be prosecuted as a repeat offender under the NSPA. And although Jones steals the Ark of the Covenant, it's unclear whether the US government would prosecute him for the theft under SEPA or the NSPA. But I have been informed that the US government has top men working on this investigation.
Top men.
Top men. So that's your general history lesson. Now let's move on to interpersonal communications. Generally in American cinema, we don't like our protagonists engaging in questionable sexual behavior. We're not. But here's a scene you probably don't remember from the first time around.
No.
Recall that Jones has an affair with Marion Ravenwood, his professor's daughter. Seems normal.
I learned to hate you in the last 10 years.
I never meant to hurt you.
I was a child. I was in love. It was wrong and you knew it.
Yikes.
I did what I did. You don't have to be happy about it, but maybe we can help each other out now.
Double yikes. Did Indiana Jones just admit to the fact of statutory rape, then say he was tired of saying sorry, then he needed a $3,000 gold medallion? Well, here's the context, and I'm not sure that that actually makes it any better. The Raiders of the Lost Ark screenplay was pretty clear about Marion's age. It says she was about 25 years old when the movie begins. Marion was the daughter of Jones's mentor, Abner Ravenwood. Jones said he hadn't spoken to Marion for 10 years, which means that 10 years ago they had a relationship. Here's the problem.
Got an ad.
Was 25 during the film. Then she was with John.
Dang it.
I'm at 10:37. Where are you at?
10:25.
10:37.
Alright. back to 1025 because obviously that's where Raiden got added.
Alright, give me a sec.
2 more to go, guys. 2 more to go.
Alright, I'm at 1025.
3, 2, 1, resume.
Honor of Jones's mentor, Abner Ravenwood. Jones said he hadn't spoken to Marion for 10 years, which means that 10 years ago they had a relationship.
Oh, 10 years ago, that means she was 17.
Then she was with Jones 10 years earlier when she was just 15 years old.
15,
okay.
My mistake. I did the math wrong.
Maybe estimate that Lucas
That's still wrong.
Lawrence Kasdan were not thinking that precisely about Marion's age and hadn't gone to all the trouble of subtracting 10 from 25 and getting 15. But we would probably be wrong. A few years ago, a transcript of a discussion between Lucas, Spielberg, and Kasdan made the rounds. The 3 men talked about Marion's age and her involvement with Jones. They decided that she had to be under the age of 16 when she was with Jones. So, yes, they knew what they were doing. And on screen, Marion says she was a child, and Jones doesn't deny that it happened. He even tells her that she needs to get over it.
I did what I did. You don't have to be happy about it, but maybe we can help each other out now.
Oh.
Me too. Now, this is not a laughing matter. Statutory rape is a crime that involves sexual contact with a person who is under the age specified by law, commonly referred to as the age of consent. The age of consent differs from state to state, and so does the name of the crime. And most states no longer refer to this crime as statutory rape, instead using terms such as sexual intercourse with a minor, sexual assault of a child, or criminal sexual penetration of a minor child under a certain age. Now, statutory rape in general is based on the notion that a person under a certain age cannot consent to sexual contact.
Well, it does say law's broken. That part I glossed over because I was kind of more focused on the artifacts and Nazi head melting.
Rare strict liability criminal offenses. That means that the mental state
I didn't really.
of the offender is
I mean, it might affect my watching of this movie, but
I didn't really. It didn't really cross my mind the tryst between Indy and Marion.
Oops.
They are still guilty of the offense. And that's not even the situation we have in this film. Here, Indiana Jones was mentored by Marion's father, and he knew her when she was growing up. He agrees that, yes, he had a relationship with her when she was a minor and knew it.
I never meant to hurt you.
It was wrong and you knew it.
And for jurisdictional purposes, let's assume that this happened in Illinois, where Jones was living when he was at the University of Chicago. If Marion was 15 at the time she was in Illinois, he would be in big trouble, regardless of whether she was in love or he thought she could consent. And Jones could also be prosecuted for aggravated criminal sexual abuse because he was in a position of trust, authority, or supervision over Marion. Remember, he was a teaching assistant to her father and may be considered someone who was in a position of trust. So the conclusion is that Jones is guilty of second-degree sexual assault because she was 15 years old when he had a relationship with her and he was more than 5 years older than she was. Indiana Jones doesn't really have a defense and can expect a minimum jail term of 3 to 7 years in prison, a fine of up to $25,000, or both. He could also have to register as a sex offender. So how are we feeling about the good old days of family-friendly entertainment now? Yikes. So let's move on to something that is a little bit more fun and lighthearted. Murder. You may recall that Indiana Jones is being chased through the streets of Cairo by a bunch of goons when he hits a dead end, and there he finds a man with a sword. After the man impressively demonstrates how he would cut Jones up, Indiana Jones pulls out a gun and shoots the man dead. This scene was not brought to you by Smith & Wesson. The original scene was supposed to be an epic sword fight that would take 3 days to film, but at the time, Ford kept running into a stomach bug. He asked Steven Spielberg if he could just, quote, shoot the son of a... Indiana Jones, brought to you by dysentery. But what about his foe in this movie? Was Jones justified in shooting this man? Was it murder, or could he shoot this SOB in self-defense? Well, American law generally has different rules for the use of deadly force in self-defense than use of non-deadly force in self-defense. And generally, you can use non-deadly force to defend yourself against any unlawful attack, and also to defend your property against theft or unlawful damage. Now, it varies slightly state by state. But when you're defending yourself from non-deadly force, you can only use the amount of force necessary to fend off the attacker. And you should also probably retreat if possible. Now, traditionally, you could use deadly force to defend yourself only if you were being threatened with death, serious bodily injury, rape, or kidnapping. So imagine that someone takes a swing at you outside of a bar. They miss, but they're mad and you know it. What can you do? You can meet their violence only with the amount of force necessary to fend off the attacker. Therefore, you can punch the person to prevent them from hitting you. But you can't pull out a gun and shoot the puncher, because in this hypothetical, you didn't reasonably fear for your life just because someone wanted to fight you. You could also leave the scene and flee entirely. However, things get more complicated when the person threatening you is brandishing objects that could inflict more damage than a fist. Can you shoot someone for brandishing a sword? During the 1930s, when this movie took place, if you were outside of your home and were approached by an aggressor, you could only use deadly force if someone attacked you with deadly force. A famous treatise on criminal law states that, quote, merely to threaten death or serious bodily harm without any intention to carry out the threat is not to use deadly force, so that one may be justified in pointing a gun at his attacker when he would not be justified pulling the trigger. Following these principles, a guy could brandish that sword without triggering Jones's right to use deadly force. And many state courts have held that a defendant's mere display of a knife during a fight, while implying the threat of violence, does not constitute deadly force. The prosecution would argue that Jones just stood there, which shows that there was plenty of time for him to run or even walk away. But Indiana Jones's lawyers would obviously say that there was nowhere for him to run, since he had already been attacked by people in the market and was surrounded by bad guys. In modern law, there's a trend to give people greater rights to use deadly force, because America. But many state laws say that a person must have a reasonable belief of imminent death or injury, and the inability to retreat in safety in order to use lethal force. And then there are the so-called stand your ground laws, which give people the right to use deadly force in any place where they have a legal right to be, as long as they reasonably feared serious bodily harm or death. They don't have the duty to retreat. US states are pretty evenly split between stand your ground laws and duty to retreat laws. Now, it's possible that Indiana Jones would have a good case for self-defense under these modern flexible deadly force laws. But the biggest problem is that Jones doesn't even try to get away. Indiana Jones would have to prove that he's in distress and fear of his life, and he has no choice but to shoot his way out of a jam. However, that's a hard argument to make when he's literally just standing there looking pretty relaxed given the situation. And there's also a lot of witnesses who don't exactly look like they'd be—
The pressure, guys!
So the conclusion here is that Jones is probably guilty of some variety of murder here. Since this wasn't a premeditated crime, he could be convicted of second-degree murder, which is typically defined as a murder that is not premeditated, or murder that is caused by the offender's reckless conduct that displays an obvious lack of concern for human life. The penalty for second-degree murder in most jurisdictions is about 10 years to life. Now, before we tally up all the crimes against Indiana Jones and see how long he's going to jail, let's talk about the dishonorable mentions of all the other crimes that were committed. Indiana Jones is not the only one who's up to no good in this movie, and the cartoonish violence includes a lot of carnage. There are, of course, lots of bad guy crimes by people who work for the Nazis. In Nepal, they burned down Marion's bar during a gunfight that they started. This is arson. They're also guilty of murder and attempted murder many times over. The baddies did a lot of criming during the market scene in Egypt. Look at all the unprovoked battery offenses with punches and various weapons.
Oh shit!
Again, attempted murders. Here they're kidnapping Marion inside of a basket.
You can't do this to me. I'm an American.
And here, Indy avoids just being stabbed. This was an attempted murder since the guy had a long knife and wanted to kill Dr. Jones. Under US law, when Indy moves away at the last second and the guy stabs someone else to death by accident, he can still be charged with felony murder. Indiana Jones pushing and shoving people and opening their baskets forcefully constitutes assault and battery and trespass to chattels. And of course, there's no exception because he's looking for Marion. Some random beggars robbed Indiana Jones while he was hiding around the corner. Indiana Jones shoots up a vehicle he thinks Marion is in. It catches fire and everybody dies. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Bare-chested Nazi
Whoopsie.
commits some very poorly choreographed batteries against Indiana Jones and then dies in a way that might be negligent homicide. While driving a truck, Indiana Jones takes out some Bedouins building a house on the side of the road, at the very least negligent homicide. During the chase scene, Jones has to throw a lot of guys off a truck. Let's declare this self-defense, so take one away. A German U-boat intercepts Indiana Jones's boat to steal back the Ark and kidnap Marion. Now, luckily for you, I'm not going to go off the deep end about maritime law, but boarding a foreign-flagged vessel constitutes interference with the normal freedom of navigation and lawful passage in accordance with the law of the sea. And finally, this monkey sells out Marion to the bad guys, clearly committing a conspiracy to kidnap Marion, but monkeys can't be convicted of crimes. Then, of course, there's Belloc, who gets his hands very dirty, who is but a shadowy reflection of Indiana
Careful,
Jones, who
dude.
commits multiple crimes against Marion, including kidnapping, false imprisonment, assault battery, and threatened with attempted rape. For statutory rape, he's probably
Most
at
funky.
3 years in prison.
Yeah.
Belloc locks
I'm not
Jones in a
touching
tomb.
that.
This is both false imprisonment
Mhm.
and kidnapping. And Belloc tries to kill Jones at least 10 times in this movie, which is 10 counts of either attempted murder or
Oof, 10
conspiracy
times.
to commit murder. Just because he's not getting his hands actually dirty with the murder itself doesn't absolve him of these crimes. And of course, many of these attempted murders are clearly premeditated, which would mean premeditated first-degree murder. Belloc is also
Damn.
guilty of the same antiquities violations as Dr. Jones, and not for nothing, Belloc did try to commit genocide against the entire planet by arming the Nazis with the Ark of the Covenant. But now let's tally up the crimes against Dr. Henry Jones Jr., aka Indiana Jones. For the antiquities violations, Jones is likely to get at least 1 year in prison for violating the NSPS, a $10,000 fine, and of course, returning all of the artifacts that he stole back to their original country of origin. For statutory rape, he's probably looking at least 3 years in prison. For all of the murders that Indiana Jones committed, assuming that self-defense does not apply, and that's probably a coin flip depending on the jurisdiction, he'd probably get about 10 years in jail for the guy with the sword, 50 years in jail for the people killed when he blew up the truck, and about 20 years in jail for negligent homicide when he drove the truck into some people on the side of the road, for a total of about 84 years in prison. Dr. Indiana Jones, you belong in a museum.
That belongs in a museum.
And by museum, I mean jail. But the thing is, if Indiana Jones comes for your
Holy
artifacts,
Jesus!
you better have a good security system to
50,
stop it.
Jesus.
And Deep Sentinel is just that. While most security systems would simply record Indy breaking into your home or stealing your packages, Deep Sentinel would actually stop it because it's the only security system that has a real human guard watching your cameras in real time. I actually use Deep Sentinel for my own house because it's not
my
like other
God.
security systems. Their cameras have a two-way speaker built in, so when they detect an intruder or a package thief, they actively intervene and either scare the intruder away or call the police. Because a better way to solve crime is to stop it before it happens.
Or you could always
I
get
used to live in a
creative
house with a
and
traditional
do
security
glitter
system
bombs.
With one of those stupid keypads where the alarm would go off if you didn't enter your code in time. And I actually
Get
got
some
fined
pocket
hundreds of
sand.
dollars
That
when
works
the police
too.
were called
Pocket
on a false
sand.
alarm. But Deep Sentinel is different. Deep Sentinel is the only security company that actually monitors your property in real time and will actually intervene before something happens. When the camera detects a visitor, the guards log into your system and assess the situation. Then the loud two-way speaker lets Deep Sentinel guards intervene and stop crime before it happens. They can ask the visitor questions or tell them that the police are on their way. It's absolutely genius. And they've done this for me many times. Their guards have even called me to summarize what's going on in front of my house and let me know that they're actively watching the situation. It's the kind of dynamic response that only a human can provide. And Deep Sentinel responds in seconds when traditional alarm systems would take half an hour, if they responded at all. And smart cameras, which are actually pretty dumb, will just give you a video of what happened after the fact. Because Deep Sentinel uses real humans, there are virtually no false alarms, and I haven't had a single package stolen since I've installed Deep Sentinel. And of course, Deep Sentinel is Wi-Fi and app enabled, so I can pull out my phone and check on my front porch or backyard with one click anywhere in the world. And I can turn on the two-way radio and I can talk to delivery people or guests myself. And the system even automatically tells me when packages are delivered.
Which is
So,
definitely
if you'd
no-no.
like to
You
try
steal a
the only
package,
security
it's a
system that
federal
has
crime.
real human guards, Legal Eagles will get 15%
Yeah.
off when you go to deepsentinel.com/legaleagle or use the promo code LegalEagle at checkout. But this is a special deal that will expire in a few days and only if you use the link below. So get 15% off of Deep Sentinel when you go to deepsentinel.com/legaleagle or use the link in the description. Plus, clicking on that link really helps out this channel. So, do you agree with my verdict for Indy? Should Indy go to jail for longer? Leave your objections in the comments. And check out this playlist over here with all of my other Laws Broken videos like Home Alone and Willy Wonka. It's all there. So just click on this playlist and I'll see you in court.
Damn.
Whew. Indy, you've been a bad boy.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I gotta see the Home Alone one.
I would, but when I've tried to re-upload reviews for Home Alone in the past, Fox would automatically put a worldwide block on it.
Yeesh.
Fox were a little bit on the protective side, even if it was, a review like I've done most of the other movie reviews on my channel. They get snippy. Don't know what to tell you.
No problem. Actually, what I was saying, I was going to watch it for myself. I didn't mean like that.
Yeah, he meant the Legal Eagle video.
Yeah.
Kind of how we watched the countless fatal injuries doctors went over in terms of Harry and Marv's stuff for Home Alone.
Oh,
Painful.
I'm starting to relive where Kevin McAllister would throw bricks from the top roof.
Ow.
Or the
Dirty Daddy, bruh.
Or the paint cans to the head.
Oh.
That's a shot at the skull.
Yep.
You guys stop? Never!
Oh, dear.
That might be the cranial trauma talking.
Found another Godzilla animation done by the guy who did the Island of Unmade Monsters.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Alright, let me just load that in a minute.
Kaiju might know this, his opponent in this video. Because it was a creature. If you continue.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I remember him from the Hanna-Barbera series.
He was a... I forget.
Gotsuki?
No. He was a creature that was guarding an ancient temple, which gave him power.
Yeah, a big giant cobra monster.
Axel.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the model of Godzilla they use here is the one from Final Wars.
Awesome. You don't see that design used a lot by artists.
Well, color me intrigued. I am at 0.
Same.
Likewise.
Which video is that again?
The
Axel
one
versus Godzilla.
It's the one that's below Legal Eagles video.
Pop that in real quick.
Right above your pocket sand gif.
That's it.
I see it.
Right, got it. I'm at 0.
3.
Likewise.
2. 1. Play. Very nicely animated thus far.
That looks good.
The music is familiar.
Would you say that temple is styled after?
No idea.
Mayan?
Kind of looks like... Yeah.
No, not so much. I wouldn't call it.
No, not the Mayan temple. Like, it'd be much more ornate if that were the case.
I'd say Aztec.
Mayan temples tend to be pretty simplistic. I'm definitely loving the various gestures the guy puts in his characters.
I'ma knock this down, bitch!
It's like I feel overwhelmingly compelled to destroy it, like a cat against a Christmas tree.
Yeah, but it's Tolik.
No! Oh my god, you're right! Let's destroy it.
Oof.
This guy got really good in between this and the last video we saw.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you are, but I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Yum 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 yum.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now you made him angry. shit, this usually works.
My butt.
Ooh, combo.
Actually, like, oh fuck.
We could be friends, right?
You bit me! Fuck off!
Oh, come on! It was just a little love tap.
Love tap? You went into my jugular vein!
That's how we say hello in my species.
Well, your species is shit.
Excuse me. Get to the dick. I don't have a penis. Keep destroying my house.
It's tacky!
Excuse me? I worked very hard on that.
Hard with what?
Oh, you critics are alike.
I'm not saying hello, bitch.
Oh.
Ooh.
Fuck you!
Maybe later with your corpse.
Oh, that's nasty.
I never said I was a good person.
Well, at least
Not even a
honest.
second. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's just got on Captain Scarlet with us.
I'm gonna put this back together. It'll be fine. I'll make room for the swimming pool.
I think in the cartoon, Axor had the ability to mind control humans. And that's how he
Cool.
built the temple.
Oh, that's not good. Where did you go?
I'm back, bitch!
I bit your neck!
I'm fighting you back! See how you like it!
I don't like it very much at all!
Say uncle! Say uncle!
Never! No, not my house!
I was gonna make a Dave Chappelle joke, but I'll keep it classy.
Ouch.
Fucking bitch! Look what you did!
Screw it. Fuck
That's
yo
the
house.
asshole
Act
who
off,
bit
fuck
out my throat!
You know what? I'll do it. Fuck yo house. Act off. Fuck yo house.
Fuck your couch. Darknesses.
Come on! I'm trying to get away! Time to go into the pool. Everything will be fine. He won't kill me here.
They should have never gave you Kaiju's money.
Pain makes me stronger, bitch.
Nope.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens. Where's my money? You want me my money? Where's my money, man?
You're gonna pay me for my house!
No, fuck off!
Yo house.
Fuck yo house!
No! Fuck you!
Fuck your house and fuck your mother!
My mother was a saint! Don't you dare talk about my mama!
Oh God, my hand.
That all you got? Oh!
Oh, goddamn.
Your mother made the 98 me look good!
He turned his hard stump into a shiv.
I was about to say, goddamn.
Taking a hint from Gamera, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. That's very possible.
Dude, this freaking hurts! I'm getting the fuck out of here!
Just getting started.
Where you go? Where you going? Where you going? We ain't done.
Oh, come on, we were just playing! Can we be friends?
Oh, he's
Oh, no. Oh, he's
Oh, we're way past that. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a reference. It's a Hanna-Barbera reference. He had laser vision in that series.
Oh,
I'm a fire in my laser.
I'm firing.
Oh, me?
Oh, God, no. No, no, no. Tell my family I hated them.
There's a hole in me!
Ooh.
Damn.
Omae shinderu.
Look at it this way. They could always make a mecha axle.
Nectar is mine! Whew. Okay, let's see. And that fills my quota for the day. I should be getting a hell of a raise for this. Let's see. Living hazard. Nothing personal. Just complying with HOA laws.
That was amazing.
It was. Oh.
Also, the commentary you Liz did was just amazing.
Yeah.
Aw, he's drowning his sorrows out in booze.
Aww.
All I gotta say is, damn.
That was fun.
That was.
It's probably somewhere on the levels of when you two did your commentary for the T-Rex versus the I-Rex a while back.
This is what happens when you deny me my people buggers, bitch!
Oh dear. That was a good find.
Thought you might like it.
Oh yeah. Superb work here.
Oh, the animation was fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you guys want to see some funny cringe?
Go on.
That depends.
Remember a while back I showed you guys a trailer of Gotham High?
Vaguely?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Well,
Oh no. Whatever.
Here's the video for it, courtesy of Miss J Longbone, and you will thank me.
Oh no. Oh my god, no!
We read Gotham High, so you don't have to.
Gotham.
Oh boy.
I'm at
Oh,
0-0.
Me
Likewise.
Alright.
3, 2, 1, play.
Gotham Hoy.
I'm gonna read this, give you guys like an overview of what the fuck this is. The author went on record as saying that it's Gossip Girl meets DC characters.
This is gonna save
Oh no.
De La Cruz, the
Lordy.
New York Times best-selling author of Alex and Eliza, whatever the fuck that is, comes a reimagining of Gotham, a new generation of readers. After being kicked out of
Well, that's a shame. Blue Bloods is actually a good crime drama.
Wayne returns to Gotham City to find that nothing is as he left it, Jesus. What once was his family home is now an empty husk, lonely but haunted by the memory of his parents' murder. Selena Kyle, previously the innocent girl next door, now rules over Gotham High School with a dangerous flair, aided by the class clown Jack Napier. When a kidnapping rattles the school, Bruce seeks answers as the dark and troubled knight, or is he
It's
actually
Gotham High.
on? As it seems,
Why?
especially at Gotham High. High, where the parties
Nothing
and
against the high school genre. If done right, it
where
can
everyone
work.
is a
Like
sucker.
Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane was a really,
evocative
really
art by
cute
Thomas
American
Piccioli,
manga.
This new graphic novel is just
But
as
this we'll have to
as
see.
it is chilling, where dearest friends turn into the greatest enemies, all within the hallways of Gotham High.
Oh my goodness. It already sounds terrible. It sounds like a thing that nobody wanted.
It sounds like a thing that would just be awful no matter what the skin was. You know, like they've used fucking DC, but it's like, ugh.
You know, it's like when they try to take something serious and then make it all goofy.
I can't even imagine what it is.
Oh, you mean like Teen Titans Go?
I was thinking more of like Attack on Titan Junior High.
To it, like
No.
it's,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
I forgot about that.
it's just really over sexualized for no reason and trashy.
Well, have you seen what Melissa De La Cruz, what she's an author of?
Yeah, I skimmed through her bookography. Yeah, she even fucking wrote Lele Pons' biography.
It's literally 250 pages of shit. You have over 5 million followers on Vine. Do you know how rare that is? You're reaching more people than I ever will with my good grades. Darcy is so right. But to be nice, I say, that's not true. You're going to become a scientist and cure AIDS, probably. I'm so sorry, trees.
Excuse
I am
me?
so sorry. This was a
What
tree.
the fuck
This
is
was
that?
actually a tree. This was something that like, gave us life and like helped us out in a lot of ways. This is going to drive people to suicide with how fucking dull it is.
Yeah, why did they hire her?
This was a tree.
Might be thinking, well, obviously,
I feel
this
sorry
is
for
who
the
we're
tree.
Gonna have saved the comic book industry.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
A real shero.
Maybe this will actually be really
No.
great, and
Oh, no.
we'll get to the end. And
No,
we'll
no,
be
no,
like,
no.
Wow, that was incredible. This is exactly what I never knew I needed.
No. When it comes to voices, like I was gonna assign you guys, but if you want to switch it up, that's fine too. But I want like Mauler for Bruce Wayne,
No.
Metal for Joker, and
Say it. Just fucking say it.
and I want Rags for Alfred for many reasons.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Catwoman.
I know I'm Catwoman because I already got the voice down anyway.
1-800 Gotham Whore.
Okay, I think it starts on page
Wait,
11.
what?
9. Remembrance of things past.
Oh god, no.
Colored by Miguel Muerto.
I think the gif I dropped below says my opinion on that. No.
Live stream or recording?
No.
No, just recording.
Oh, good. We can cut out all the horrendously.
What?
No, those are the ones that stay in.
Oh,
Yeah. They're gonna have to stay in for what we're in for. Trust me. You're. Ooh. Oh boy.
Just remember the heterophobic language, guys. Jesus.
Oh boy, I gotta do my sexy voice for this garbage. Welcome to Gotham City's Arkham Preparatory School for Boys. One of the most famous and prestigious private schools in the country.
Yeah.
More future presidents, senators, tycoons, and CEOs have passed through these halls than anyone can count. It prides itself on its school motto, Vita et Fortitudo, life and courage. And it must be noted.
Oh my god.
No.
Is that Luke here?
No. You're gonna.
They've drawn things on his face.
It's the thing is, it's not even like scary. It looks like every
X's
other
on the eyes.
Rapper's music video. behind.
Page 2 is already cyberbullying. I just want to kill myself now.
While there are only 25.
Why was this an actual thing?
And only 4 ways
Because
to conjugate.
the comic industry is desperate for some new viewers, and they're willing to appeal to anybody out there for a new
There's
audience.
5 conjugations for Latin verbs.
So they thought, hey,
Because I took Latin for
young adults read manga that are about high school dramas. Let's do people like still like Twilight
fucked up. Like surely you
and Hunger Games. Let's do that with Batman.
No.
I guess there could be 4, but I mean this is also saying 5. Latin's a fucking super complicated language. Don't learn it.
There are an infinite number of ways to be cruel at Arkham through social
Kinda
media,
is.
digital life, And IRL.
Digital life.
Oh, and IRL. Oh, fuck.
Oh, dude, look at this beard. Oh my god, that dude has got to
Ah.
be a loser.
He looks like if Sean King was actually black.
They got this little token black bully in the background.
Oh god.
He's clearly not looking at this that's happening.
Wow. He's proud of his fellow Aryans eating up the local brand.
I like that
I like
guy.
that as he-
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Well, look at his anatomy is fucked. Look at his arm.
Oh no, he hit himself so hard he snapped his wrist. That guy needs business.
I mean, this looks like the first draft of
Okay, why?
like a first drawing, like something you would throw out.
It's not unreasonable to assume he did break his wrist because on the next panel he punches him with his right hand, not his left.
I like that the nerd is suggesting maybe you didn't wear deodorant today.
Why are you hitting yourself?
Break his wrist. Also, he says, "Say that again, asshole," and they hit him before he can even say it again. Why
Wood. Oh my god.
Let's get out of here!
The Phantom of the Opera. Oh no.
He's beat me in. Oh,
This is like
this is Bruce, yeah? It looks like a whammon.
Look at how tiny his face is!
Oh my god, that's supposed to be. What is wrong with his face?
Yeah, that's what he
I
is.
have no idea.
Okay.
Well, he's half Chinese.
His face is the Chinese.
It doesn't even look like an anime fuckboy. He just looks. What the fuck is wrong with his face?
Okay. So is the nerd.
Oh, wait. Where'd you learn to fight like that?
That's just what?
Tell Master Zang I said
Well, I guess it was Master
What?
Zang.
I guess it was Master. He's like, that's not normal
Not really
social
an answer is
interaction.
what I asked. I hate it when people do this when I ask a question and they don't actually
I
answer.
hate to say it, but Bruce
Even the
is
black kid's
looking
like,
way too
wait,
cool.
but
So
look
this
at the
Oh, he's just.
wind, water, flame.
Again, I keep saying this. What is wrong with his face? I don't care if they're saying that he's Asian American. There's something wrong with his face.
Also, this page is kind of the opposite of what's happening.
Look, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire.
The Chinese are saving people in the comic page. In the real world, the Chinese have doomed us all.
They released the evil corona.
He doesn't know that Bruce
Not
called
touching
him a
that.
card before he left.
Oh,
Uh,
God.
Who are you?
They need
He's
to.
gone. He's mysteriously
Yeah.
gone.
Oh!
Like Boba Fett or whatever.
Boba Fett.
Boba.
Like all schools
Like a ninja.
nowadays,
Zero mask! I knew it!
Zero tolerance for bullying. Zero tolerance means the school does what schools do best. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Zero.
Okay, so if this is where all the CEOs and presidents and everything come from, they don't do anything about bullying, and they let people wear like hats flipped
That would
around backwards as
explain
part of the
a lot of things about the world.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense. If they all got money and they're all affluent, why the fuck are like this shouldn't even be a thing? Oh, look at the black bully's parents. Look at the father. He's dressed in that pimp suit.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, he's got his alpha hoe next to him.
Bruce Wayne is like walking at bullies. And they're like, where are his parents?
Doesn't have parents, dummy.
Triggered.
Is this Alfred or is this the
No,
principal?
no, that's just the headmaster.
Does he need pictures of Spider-Man?
God.
Wait to discover what race and ethnicity Alfred is.
Find out the entity that is Alfred.
I feel like I should have like a wheel. That would spin, like, and Ron
You know,
is
I can't imagine J.K. Simmons voicing him.
Hooker from Africa.
Raven stunning.
Or it's just an actual Robin.
The only character who's like the
What the hell?
costume and everything.
No, just a Robin. I can't say it's a pleasure to see you in my office again.
Oh, I don't know about that. I, for one, have always enjoyed our little chat.
I am once again asking your uncle to be here today. But no one could get a hold of him.
It is the middle of the night.
What the fuck? Oh my god, it's Uncle Ben!
Yeah, like when it's light, it means like it's faint or in the background or they're whispering.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I guess.
No, like look at the text here.
In
Look
the
how
next
it's-
one.
Look how it's inconsistent. How it's really bold,
Yeah.
but then it's really
Oh.
thin. Be that as it may, I presume you're familiar with security cameras. Well,
Is it wrong that I want Linkara to review this comic?
Oh my god.
He'll probably go on a 30-minute rant on continuity.
Oh god.
The boys have already.
That's if he ever decides to upload it, of course.
Huh.
Oh.
Yes, because as we all know, nothing of his is on a set schedule.
It used to be, but again, he's had a lot of issues, and plus he recently moved into a new house.
I'm afraid. Instant expulsion.
So he has been a little bit behind with some of his work. But he's trying to be consistent.
I already fucking hate.
Yeah, he is drawn very weird in this comic.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck?
Picks up all of these guys.
What's wrong with your face?
Right? They know that he's got like super wealthy and everything, so why would they want to get rid of him when they know that all of these other kids were beating up on Luke?
Because the system was always against Bruce. They always knew he was gonna be Batman, and they tried to beat it out of him. In Gotham City, however, some of us aren't as lucky as the boys at Arkham Prep.
Really set him up being the lucky ones.
What?
Those are the lucky kids.
Oh no, disgusting hobo.
Getting expelled from school and getting their shit kicked out of their face. Yeah, it's really lucky.
Their families don't love them apparently because they're in Hong Kong or whatever. Or dead.
They died because they didn't love Bruce. They're like, we gotta get away from this faggot.
I like how as well that they're like, how do we make this place look dirty? We put a porno theater in the back. There you go.
Normally,
Looks so
now,
Disney, like,
comics, right? When you first introduce a character, that's like the best shot of them, so that you instantly.
What the hell they do to
think of
Joker?
that, that's them. Your first impressions. I'm not a nerd.
Oh my god, they gave him the Jared Leto treatment.
Fucked up.
Look how black it is on that.
Yeah.
This is the Joker Batman before all the damn tattoos.
And why is it like square? Like, is it the money that they're saying
Yeah,
is
this
blocking
is
out the
Hong Kong, I
sun?
forgot.
I don't think a paper note is that powerful, but alright.
Some of us have to dig in the dirt while looking up at the stars. Oh, Christ. Get the fuck out of here!
I'm sorry, how fucking ugly is that hand? The middle fingers are formed together. The one on the top is doing some crazy.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. That's Metal's line.
This looks like that Star Wars Italian comic that people were talking about a couple months ago.
Oh my god.
The Joker.
Boom! I found $10 in the trash. Jokes on you, trash.
That's supposed to be Joker, of course it
Look
is.
at those two gentlemen shaking hands because, from my point of view, that's exactly what they're doing.
Like my friend, Jack Napier. Rough around the edges, sure. With nothing to his name but a wicked sense of humor.
Oh look, he reads.
All right. Okay. So though, if he doesn't actually have he's not going. You're gonna say that he has a wicked.
So
sense of humor,
funny.
and I never laugh at anything he says.
I feel like we're gonna be laughing at him.
Oh, what if? Oh my gosh! What if him pulling $10 out of the dumpster? If that's like meta commentary, like laughing in the person's face of whoever bought this for $10.
Yeah. Oh.
Look what you used to have, but you don't anymore. You have this.
Yeah.
You got 200 pages of me, Jack Napier.
$9.99, well spent.
That's what he needs the $10 for surgery.
They say he who laughs last laughs best.
No one says that.
Jack.
No one says that. It's the final winner will have more glory than someone who was winning in the beginning but ultimately lost. Well, no wonder I haven't heard that. That's stupid. Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance.
Oh, but Jack might argue with that. And
What
then...
up, Breaksters?
What up,
What
up, Jack?
Oh, he's
Sorry,
such a.
Look at the perspective of that car. Like, how is the car? Like, we're looking from the top down at a car.
Mm-hmm.
How? Never mind. Don't think about it. It's his style.
Whoa, watch it, ass wipes.
Dad, you can't afford this.
Pretty sure you can.
A finger? I don't even understand what you mean.
Yeah, that's so
that you can't
Yeah,
afford this.
the art is just like
Bruce Wayne could probably
half
afford
good,
He's
half
Chinese.
terrible.
They're genociding fingers so they can have all the fingers.
I can't pass judgment. They draw hands better than I do.
Wow, that's what are the odds? I hate people.
I'm pretty sure Anjas can testify since I was showing some doodles off yesterday.
You're getting there. You're getting there, girl.
Alfred, you see that poor person splash?
I went to the bathroom. I'll be right back. What the hell is wrong with that kid's finger?
With the pool water.
Soak them. No, it wasn't even. They
I
had a
don't
little water
know.
cannon on the side of the limo just so they could spray water at the poor people.
That was his first bad gadget. Just a water cannon for poor people.
How's that for a welcome home? What?
Everybody's anatomy is so wrong.
What is a nation?
On the other, better side of town, in Arcadia Park, the most exclusive neighborhood.
I'm so emo.
A little bird told me.
How many sides of town are there?
Not sure if you.
But he just left.
It's Gotham. They're all bad.
He was
That might be
headed
it. I
so.
don't actually know.
Not sure if you heard, but Bruce hasn't been home in years. His uncle shipped him off to boarding school the minute his parents died. And keep in mind, his uncle is Alfred. Like, they made Alfred his uncle.
Oh.
And, so...
Why?
Maybe
God,
he
we
was
got an
thinking...
exposition.
Context.
That's why.
Thinking that it would
Yeah,
be
pretty
smart
much.
to go to this prestigious school.
where people get beat up and bullied.
Maybe he didn't know
constantly.
that. Maybe they don't. They probably.
No.
They
He's like,
probably
you'll
don't
do the beating
advertise
up,
that.
boy. You will.
Oh
do
yeah,
it."
that is. In fairness, they just sent. I want you to let out.
Ah, no. No.
Alfred's fucking metal.
No, I'm not. Wait, that next box. I have many problems with this, but go ahead and read it.
He probably doesn't remember me, but I'm sure he remembers this. He remembers her, his mother. Before Masha Dean became Martha Wayne, she was the most beautiful girl in Hong Kong and from the richest family. Few know it was her.
It was her
money that
was
started
her money.
Wayne Enterprises.
Of course, she's the reason Wayne is rich. She's got, yeah, of course.
That Bruce Wayne gold digger.
Excuse
we all know.
According to sources, everything fell apart the night they went to see Madame Butterfly. What started as a perfect evening soon became a night of terror. When they got home, the thieves were everywhere.
This is terrible writing. Like, we're already getting exposition dumps about Bruce's parents dead.
It's
So
even
no
weird,
crime alley and
Catwoman
whatnot.
Is so readily aware of all of this.
It turns out that Catwoman and Bruce knew each other since they were kids.
I guess. Well, I guess news reports as well. So.
Well, it's
still weird.
I'm getting a
I think that it
headache.
would be
I'm confused.
memory of him looking at the photo, and Catwoman isn't even involved in any of this. I know it's a
First of all, he went to see Zorro. Fuck you, pretentious bitch.
The mother's Chinese now.
Also, isn't it kind of offensive that it's like, of course they're Chinese, so they have to see Madame Butterfly?
Now, because of those two vital pieces of information, we have to re-explain it.
I just figured that you'd do it in a subtle way instead of being like, "Did you know his parents?"
Maybe next time when I show the sequel. Oh, Liz, you're gonna love how they made Selena Kyle.
Oh God, I'm gonna hate this, aren't I?
Probably.
Bruce never talked about it. He was too ashamed.
This doesn't make it a random crime. This doesn't make sense.
Sherlock Holmes on his wall, and there's like this random picture of a beaker with chemicals on it.
He's smart. He's a scientist. This is what smart kids do in their rooms. They have framed beakers up on the walls because it's science.
You see, Batman.
Oh, Batman's a scientist.
Detective.
Yeah.
He was a bat
He has a
bed.
bat bed.
Yeah.
Why does he have a bat bed?
Wait, what? I just noticed it. It's got wings on it.
Why is this bat bed? There's not a lot of room to lie on this bed, by the way.
Yeah. Oh God. What the hell?
You just rest your legs on the front of the bat bed.
Look how
Nice
tiny.
piece of gift
Uncomfortable that you might even
win.
slip off it.
Look how tiny his desk chair is. His desk chair is so tiny.
What's next? A bat shower?
It's so
A bat jacuzzi?
It's like a circus room.
Bat Tuesday?
It's like an alien's rendition of a human room.
I saw this in a picture once, beep boop.
I know he must have blamed himself.
Oh my
God! Know the thieves left him.
Should have been the Joker's room if you were going to do this.
Do anything, unable to save them. Poor kid.
How'd they die?
I don't know. They put him in a tub on a bed.
Oh,
and they're
death
dead.
tub.
If you see his parents are on the floor, they're dead.
That's how I kill people. I just tie him up and leave him in the tub, and they just Die. What are the letters on the gate for?
Arkham Prep.
I thought I had a mild
Yeah,
case of indigestion, but I think this comic is giving me an ulcer.
I guess it's
Ouch.
It could be Alfred Pennyworth.
You put his name on the gate because fuck the Wayne.
Like I said, School Life, if done right, can be great. I love the anime Soul Eater. I loved Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane because that was a really, really cute comic. But this, I don't know.
Wait, what? No!
Remember when they read Gotham High, so we don't have to.
Yay!
Oh no, I didn't.
Good, because if I had to read any more, I'd probably be diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
And I'd probably end up being catatonic.
I am not reading that out.
Type it out. Oh, wait. Oh, you did type it out.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear Lord.
I don't get the last one though.
That's why I copied and pasted. That's what the comment section's like. Feel better?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing.
I'm just looking through some of the comments myself.
Oh, I got one for you after we go off the air. Tyrone.
Oh my god! Plot twist: Bruce Wayne is actually Kate Kanan with a wig on.
Oh god, no! Oh god! I thought I got away from that character when she left.
Oh my god! Someone made a comment about the business card: wind, water, flame, earth. The four nations lived in harmony, but that all changed when the Flame Nation attacked.
One that
I can't. Oh god! oh man, yeah. I might get canceled for this, but who cares? I can't get over big hair, squashed little face, Bruce Wayne. Never mind, he's Asian.
Oh my god!
That still baffles me. It's like, wait, what?
Oh, this one.
God damn it, Abby!
This one.
What did he do this time?
He knocked.
Oh my god!
He knocked something off of the kitchen counter.
One of the comments reads, Gossip Girl meets DC. That alone brings up so many questions.
This one from Eagle Bearer. This is what happens when you hire Tumblr writers. Liking?
Marvel, Endgame was the most ambitious crossover in history. Jay Longbone, hold my hair extension.
Oh, here's one. A reading by Jay Longbone and Co. is the only way I'd ever be excited for this comic.
Oh, so someone made a comment about the bed. That's not a bed. That's either a kiddie ride without a coin slot, or Professor X's hover chair with a pillow and the Batmobile wings on it.
One that I have to show when we go off air is Tyrone Magnus reacting to risque black jokes.
Oh. Oh my god. Bruce Wayne, more like Bruce Wang, Deep Wang.
Yeah, and here's another palette cleanser.
Yay!
Oh yes.
All right. I am at 0-0.
So am I.
I was watching it the other day. This is hilarious.
This is my specialty.
Check Hold on, I have to get through that first.
All right.
I'm at 0-0.
Hold on,
All right.
I'm putting through a political ad, and it won't let me
Ad block,
skip.
you. Get ad block, damn it!
I can't afford that.
It's
free. It's free.
All right, good to know. All right, I am at 0.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of delicious Japanese snacks, check out Boxu. We did a full review of their September box over on our
Damn,
Tomcast
Landy-
pod show
damn,
about the
Landy
boys.
Bator got
And if you
skinny.
put in the code Team 4star10 checkout, you can get 10% off
He'd be
your
working out.
subscription. Thanks, and
Japanese
enjoy the video.
treats.
Yeah,
Yummy.
if anything, he's gained muscle.
Yeah.
Gohan? Vegeta's here, looking for you.
What? Vegeta? Well, tell him I'll be right there.
Fight me!
Vegeta, what are you doing here?
Pretty sure it's obvious.
How is he hanging
Fight me!
upside down?
What? Why?
Flying.
It's been over a year since your idiot father killed himself.
Saved us all.
Killed himself, and I haven't had a decent challenge since. So put down the math book, get your gi on, and fight me like you mean it.
Chinese.
What?
The book. I'm learning Chinese.
Why are you learning Chinese?
相信你以后，你就会学到。Also, I'm not by
Oh, that's terrifying.
You have enough power under that hood to destroy the planet 3 times over, and you're just letting it go to waste!
Vegeta, my little brother is sleeping in the next room over, and Mom just put him down. If you're really looking for a fight, keep it up, and she'll give you one.
This isn't over.
Oh, God.
Why does Mom need so much Chobani yogurt? What? Vegeta!
Fight me!
I'm running errands!
More like running your mouth! How about you run those hands?
My hands are full of sundries!
And you're full of excuses! Let's go!
Okay.
Oh my God.
Forgot to get pears. If you go to the store and grab them for me, I'll fight you.
Fine!
Wait, no.
Thanks for letting me use your telescope.
Pears of what?
Comet Komori only passes by the Earth every 100... Wait, what's that light? That's not
Oh
a
no.
Oh no, that was Broly coming to Earth. No, not Nimbus.
Gotcha that time!
It's your damage!
I haven't taken any damage! That's the problem!
There's got to be someone else you can ask to fight you!
I tried! No. Oh, come on, why not? Because I don't want to. What, you got something better to do? Nope. You fight me! Huh. You think that'd work? Yeah, I guess it'd be pretty funny. Who are you talking to? What? Why did you? Vegeta, what are you doing? Who just broke Rule 6? I will.
Oh God, no, no!
You motherfucker!
I should make myself a bed.
Well, honestly, I'm honored you thought of me, Vegeta. If you don't go Super Saiyan, who knows? Maybe I'll have a...
No, not you, you neurotic imp! You're woman!
Hey, Vegeta. How are the arms?
They're fine. Never mind! Get out here! You owe me a rematch!
I owe a lot of people a lot of things. Most of them money, one an organ, one a live tiger.
Yeah, your brother keeps calling about that.
But I don't owe you shit.
Why a
You
tiger?
beat your kid and ignore
He's-
your wife.
he becomes
And
a park
when
ranger.
You're not doing that. You're trying to start fights with
Uh-oh.
people because of your screaming ego. You remind me of my dad, but at least he had the common courtesy to stay dead. So take your massive inferiority complex the hell off our beach, and maybe I'll fight you again someday when you stop acting like such a massive
Ooh.
Damn. For Triclops, but he's completely off the grid. So all that's left was you.
Well, what about Yon?
I will obliterate your home.
Okay, jeez.
Jesus!
I'm sorry. But I'm still not going to fight you.
Oh, come on, seriously!
I don't like fighting, Vegeta. I only did it because it was literally do or die. And frankly, at this point, I'd be fighting you out of pity. Is that what you want? A pity fight? Yeah. Goodbye, Vegeta.
That's sad.
Oh, 36 missed calls. Not pulling the pin on that grenade.
Aww. Surprised that Vegeta didn't have Bulma mark this woman on his phone.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I figured we needed a good funny palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Wow. I think this is probably as good a time as any to call it a day with, because, well, some of us are slowly running on fumes at the moment,
And Win and I have to head off to D&D in a little bit.
Yeah, so I should probably get something to eat. Make sure the Overlord is fed so he doesn't pounce me mid-session.
Yeah.
I did it because I love you, Mother.
It's like, fuck you, feed me.
Until next time, I have been the Knight.
I've been the awesome one.
I have been the snarky, crazy cat lady.
I have been the person whose comics you should buy on Amazon.
His comics.
Do it.
And I've been the cybernetic energetic Zen masters who say, wear your goddamn mask, wash your hands, drink lots of water, and just stop being stupid.
And I have been Steven.
Yep.
Yay.
See you next
It's Steven!
Good night from the night, folks.
And everybody.
Take
Until
care.
next time.
And check out MJ's Teespring page.
Please.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
buy
right.
Buy his merch. Buy his merch.
Buy his
That
merch. Buy his merch. Buy Kaiju's comic. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Stop being
Hide your
stupid.
hide your kids, hide your wives.
They be plugging all these merch here.
Also buy your El Sustain shirts and mugs. Remember to make your opponents whine in anger as you drink their tears.
And we're off the air.